Welcome to Juggz. If you don't know what Juggz are, then consult your manual. But Juggz today is Rob and Louise and me talking about stuff.
Stuff and things.
Current affairs, old affairs.
Yeah.
Who's
New
having a current affair?
Sexual love affairs. I was about to say sexual affairs, but let's go love affairs. They sound nicer.
So
It feels like it's been a while.
it has been,
But
and
not
also
because of the reason you think.
exactly.
The
So
viewer.
apologize to everyone. I'm going to do it straight off the bat for me. Apologize. It was a technical failure, so it wasn't a
It
Rob.
wasn't Rob's fault,
No.
like all the other times.
So we recorded two different things. Recorded like a video to the hard drive, something else SD card. And the SD card, the back just fell off it.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
said
literally
this.
it just crumbled.
Yeah.
Like you took it out and it just half of it wasn't there.
And I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
so
me neither.
unfortunately, we did record an episode 2 weeks ago, and then it didn't go
But
out.
it was shit. So like,
no,
no,
that's
tell yourself it was shit and then you'll feel better.
It's actually
It
my
was shit,
favorite
it was
episode
shit.
we did.
Oh, fuck off.
Why was it shit? Well,
No, it was a nice episode.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I'm
Louise
trying
is
to
saying
say-
like downplay it so
Oh,
people won't be
see,
mad.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
say
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like when you miss a party and then you get
Yeah.
everyone to tell you it was
Yeah,
a really
yeah.
shit
I mean, it was a
party.
great episode.
It was maybe the best episode. Yeah.
You'll never know why.
Yeah, it was more of a concept of an episode is what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, great question. Who
It was
knows?
a training session in
Yeah.
the episode.
I liked it.
And then last week, me and Louise were moving house, so we couldn't do.
But we are moved.
We
Yes.
are moved.
We're
Fully
now
moved.
flatmates in a whole new location.
I was
Air
literally going to ask
five.
this during our time at Bugmans,
Yeah.
but I never got a chance to ask.
What's the question?
What does he say?
How is the new digs?
Oh my gosh, I love it there. It's so pretty. We'll have to have you around for dinner.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and
As
Liz,
in
shout out
you're
Liz.
not going to eat me.
Yeah, we
No.
are.
Okay.
Yeah, we are. It's so nice there. It's super nice. I've gotten most of the rooms looking comfy. Rob has a weird addiction to chests of drawers.
Nice.
It's not a weird addiction. I just want everything to have its place.
Yeah.
And its place, it lives.
But Rob's room is just, it's like, you know those soundproofing rooms where it's got like stuff all over the walls. It's like that, but with a hellscape of drawers.
Nice.
Yeah. And everything has a drawer.
Everyone has a
And
drawer.
isn't that lovely?
It is.
That's what we want.
Everyone has a home. In
Everything
Your land.
has
Now
a
he's
home.
trying to make the drawers go out into the hall as well. They're leaking out his room like alien.
Yeah. Either way, I'm a drawer addict. That's
He is
what
a
I'm going to
drawer
say.
addict. But it's honestly such a nice place, and we've got it looking really nice. We've I think we've just about trickled out of the Amazon boxes now
Oh,
of just
good.
being like, oh, we need something to keep our tea and coffee in. And
Yeah.
So I think we're just about done.
Yeah, because our old flat was just like an amalgamation of stuff from our previous two places together, and it was just like, cool. What sort of stuff are we going to get together?
And my last place was just stuff I basically had since uni.
Yeah.
So I chucked a load of stuff out, which I
R.I.P.
needed
to the
do.
22-year-old TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It was my cousin's in university when he was in uni in, I think, like 2001.
Yeah.
And at that time, it was like the highest end TV.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a little bit flat and quite. So I've had that for, I think, we've had it in the family for, I think, about, literally 22
if it
years.
works, why change it, right?
Well, I office
Well, we
spaced
changed
it.
it.
That's how I got over. Like, someone said there was going to be another Games Workshop price increase, and I just got a baseball bat out and went to the TV. I just took all my feelings out, and then
Taped a picture of a Space Marine onto the TV and just went to town on it.
Yeah, but Peach thinks is really nice.
Yeah.
It was. I think I did some maths because
Maths.
our old flat was on for non-English listeners. It's quite common, especially if you're in London area, but it's quite common for there to be a lot of flights of stairs in England and no lifts.
Yeah.
So it was like 4 flights down, 3 flights up. But 4 flights down. So you go down 2 boxes up 4. Oh, my legs.
I bet.
My little old legs.
Oh, my dogs were howling.
Yeah, my dogs were howling. It
But
was
your
a
knees were sore.
Oh, you wouldn't
So
believe
Rob,
it.
so like last week when we were going to do Juggz, I think we were like the second night into the flat and we were just exhausted.
Yeah, in pieces.
And there was nothing was going on.
Yeah. So, just listeners, thanks for sticking with us.
Yes.
For sticking to our Juggz.
we apologize that there was a bad record and then we missed a week, but the weekly schedule begins again.
It's back, baby.
It's back.
It's
We
back,
set
baby.
the clock. We're back.
We're regular.
We're regular.
We're regular once more.
Except for a while we weren't regular. That was tough.
I've never been regular.
No comment.
So, Peach, have you been?
I've been great. I've had a great time. Done lots of fun things in that meantime. I was sad a couple of weeks because I didn't get to see it, but it's fine. It's fine.
Oh,
No, you were busy.
sorry.
I was happy to help as well if you needed me, but you sound like you had it sorted.
I think
Yes.
that's pretty much done.
I'd also
yeah.
say, Rob, Billy bookcases and Kallax are my favourite unit of choice. I don't know what your...
I knew
I
you'd,
think
I
it
knew you'd
is.
be. I
No,
knew
we have
you'd be a chest of drawers guy. You're a good guy. You got a good heart, Peach. You could tell. You
I
could
think
tell.
we're Malms. Are they Malms?
I need you all to know that we're not even those because we aren't that rich. So we're Amazon knockoff Malms.
Nice.
I didn't know you got Amazon knockoff Malms.
Yeah, I did.
My
I don't-
one's 100% real IKEA Malm.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh.
You got fancy in your room. I went working class Amazon non-Malms.
Have you got the receipt for yours to prove provenance that it's truly an
Malm.
This is
Yes,
a
the
Malm.
label is still stuck inside the first drawer. Yes, indeed. I also got a little display case for all my Sylvanian families.
Yes. Rob was
Obviously.
saying this, a million
Most important.
Sylvanian families.
That's true.
At
That's
least
true.
33 of them.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I also was able to build an office space at home, actually, Peach, because you do all of your, you do
Yes.
everything at home,
I
right?
do everything at home. Everything. All of it.
How's, honestly, like, take us through that. Is that tough? Like, what's,
Yeah, it can be. I have a couple of my one-to-ones who want to do some in-person stuff.
Oh, that's
Okay.
nice.
Which is
Why, 'cause they're
great.
local?
No, because
Because-
it's a really clever way of combining several months worth of one-to-ones into one sitting.
I guess
oh,
so.
nice.
But also I can show them more
Yeah.
as opposed to digitally without video chats and stuff like this.
Yeah.
You're limited to what you can physically show and discuss.
Yeah, you can show someone how thin paint is in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Andy, love Andy to bits. Andy Bradford, he's been with me since the off. He normally comes down every 3 or 4 months to do stuff. So
What, in real life?
yeah, in real
That's
life,
so
yeah, I've done a
cool.
couple of sessions, but it's hard when it's because my space looks like a shit tip.
It doesn't.
It does.
It looks
I
like
mean,
a
there's
well. It
cardboard
looks like a
boxes.
well-loved
So-
dungeon.
It does look like a well-loved dungeon. Yes,
It looks like from a place I'd only think about escaping from. I wouldn't desperately try,
Yeah,
but I'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
maybe.
I don't know. I
At some
like the
point.
armor corner.
Oh no, that's
There's
fine.
so much
So
cool stuff. I love your
I
little
hide a
man
lot
cave.
of the clutter with like my setup and stuff like that, but
Mm.
there's a lot of boxes and things that get in the way. And then Mrs. Peach and myself are like, the house needs a bit of renovating. It's started to crumble a bit in places and stuff. So when people come around, I'm a bit like, oh, but I want to do games and stuff with folks. I want to do like more battle reports and stuff like bigger things.
You could always come here.
Yeah, always
Well,
come
no,
here.
this is it. I mean, everything's within like immediate convenience
Yes.
at my house. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
literally,
yeah.
I can grab a light and go, oh, I know what I need. I need that monster from this set. Obviously, I can do it. I just have to plan a bit.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
terrible
Yeah.
at planning
It's so
now.
convenient having
Yeah.
it in your house. Yeah.
But from a space point of view, it gets a little bit cramped sometimes when I'm doing videos. So I do find I have to, if I'm not filming or editing, I'm in my head, I'm not making money. So if I'm tidying them, that's not making money.
Yeah.
But it is making the space better. And it's not about making money, it's about providing for the family.
But
So-
that's you need to.
Yeah, I need to make money to provide for the
What
family.
we're saying, we're not money obsessed,
No,
but we
definitely
gotta
not.
feed our mouth
I mean,
holes.
I've had some conversations with people recently. I'm like, I feel like I'm saying too much for my time, but then I don't value my time. I should probably value
You
my
don't
time
value
more
your time
at all. So
Peachy.
no, I'm
Knowing
terrible
you.
at that kind of stuff. So.
Yeah, we joked about this because we've just all taken a trip to Bugmans, right? Where we
This
hung out from.
episode is sponsored by.
It's not sponsored by
Thank
Bugmans.
you, Bugmans, for
Importantly,
sponsoring this episode of Juggz.
importantly, Games
Thank
Workshop
you.
Lawyers, it is not sponsored by Bugmans.
Thank you, Bugmans.
No, Louise, stop saying Louise.
So good.
Louise.
So good.
Louise. You don't read the emails. I'll have to deal with it.
By Bugmans.
Oh, do you know what? I've made a huge faux pas.
Oh, what?
A huge faux pas. Talking about being sponsored by Juggmans.
You forgot our mugs.
We have Juggz mugs.
Do you want to
mugs.
go grab them?
Juggz, no, I'll grab them. You two keep talking.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna.
Shall we just
we're
sit
keeping
silent
we're keeping the
for
episode. No, we're keeping the
I thought
episode
you were going to
going.
ask me something, but
No, absolutely not. But
Okay.
I'm going to ask you
Play that-
something.
play-
So whilst Rob's gone,
Yeah.
Wait.
I also really, really struggle because my space, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, some people know this, I share my space with Rob, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that means, so I feel the same way, which is like, if I'm not recording, painting, or editing, I'm like, I'm not doing my job. I'm
Yes,
so
yeah, yeah.
paranoid.
letting
Oh
my
my God.
patrons down because I'm not working.
Literally, oh my God, I love my patrons so much. I just want to
you're the
give them
best.
everything. Yeah, I still need to be more like you. I'm gonna write them an update today, I feel. But Rob streams every single day. So there's like I only do like, he just dropped one on the stairs, didn't he?
Oh no.
Did you guys just hear the sound of Rob dropping a mug on the stairs? That's what that was. But yeah, I only need the studio for like speaking.
Yeah, yeah.
once every 2 weeks because that's all I film.
Yeah.
But still, it'll be nice to have my own space.
Yeah,
I feel
it's nice having it, and I can,
sometimes Rob's really loud.
Yeah,
sorry, Rob.
I mean, being in, so I've done a bit of recording at home, and I've got like this little system where I've closed my door.
Mm-hmm.
If they're in the
Do you have,
dining
like, a
room,
little
I can
do
close
not
that.
disturb?
I just basically have the conversation with Liz and Charlie
that's
saying,
even
I'm just
better.
doing some recording. Whoa. You're
Rob,
right.
did you drop on the stairs?
There's your
Rob, did you?
Juggz mugs.
No comment. No comment. No comment.
It's important to note for viewers at home that our new, available in the link below, Juggz mugs. You cannot drop on stairs.
Did you break a Juggz mug?
I did.
Oh, Tom's gonna be furious.
Don't tell him. No one, listen.
No, if you're watching,
everyone,
don't
if
tell
you're
him.
watching,
Don't tell Tom.
Don't take that.
yikes.
He never watches our content anyway, so it's fine.
God damn it, Tom. You do everything for us except for give us views. So this is actually extremely useful.
Yeah, what do you think of the Juggz mugs?
Juggz mugs.
So this episode of Juggz, sponsored by Juggz.
Juggz!
Definitely when we do the Patreon only, I'm drinking out of this one.
Get
Yeah.
your Juggz mugs.
But also, if you like mugs and want to start a Juggz style collection, there's also Peachy Tips mugs available. We're not sure.
Yes.
Somewhere.
Somewhere in person at the moment until I organise myself and do merch. Learn how to do
Yeah.
merch.
I'm going to
Tom.
edit out. This episode is sponsored by
Juggz and
Peachy Tips mugs.
tips.
by Bugmans, Juggz, and Pete. I've got
Not
a
to Bugmans.
Bugmans.
I feel there'll be some stern words. at the end
Quench
of
your
this episode.
dwarven hunger.
It's quite your dwarven hunger. Right, okay.
But yes, we're
I
talking
was
about
saying,
noises.
Yeah.
and
I
recording.
was saying that like it would be nice in the future for me to have my own space to record because you do stream every single day and sometimes you yell at the chat.
They need it.
Sometimes.
Peach is so important. Do you know one of the things that made me when I
Yell at the
used to
chat.
stream for Games Workshop, like the comment, like I never had a problem with the chat.
Yeah.
And then when
What do you
Games
mean you
Workshop
never had a
started
problem
being
with the chat?
okay, so basically chat is very much like I think it's like being a parent.
Yeah. Okay.
Like so when you're streaming, like
They're like my parents when I used to do it.
yeah, well, I mean, every chat has its own dynamic. Like when Louise does it, they're her parent.
Yeah.
But when I do it, I'm like, okay, like good, healthy conversation. No, not you. Yeah, you're bad. And I shout at that person until they go away. Right? That's the right decision.
Your chat has an uncomfortable energy.
It's a strong energy.
It's like a dad with his 300 dumb sons.
So the person you told to go away, is he like a patron or is he just like some random
No,
that just
it'll be
drifts
some
by?
dickhead that's come in and he's like, "Wow, Robert,
Oh, that's
you
fine.
seem
Yeah,
someone
seem
today was
pretty
like,
woke.
someone today was like, I don't like Star Wars since Disney took over. And then at that point, you're saying to yourself, like, okay, so he has a problem with Disney specifically, and I have no problem with having a problem with Disney.
Yeah.
Disney are awful,
Or like
But-
having a problem
Led
with
by-
the quality of your favorite franchise going down if it actually is.
Yeah, if it actually
that's
is.
so-
But that's not their argument. It's because like Disney hired a woman for some reason and now it's obviously awful. Yeah. And I'm like, and then I always use the same defense I use for everything. I'm like, oh, Star Wars is good, is it? And then I have my plastic Boss Nass figure that I have available at any point. I put it up to the screen and I go, was this the Star Wars that you loved? Misa Gunner. And then they're like, and then they
this
left
good?
the chat. But yeah, but like when I was at Games Workshop, you got to control the chat, and I think that they don't control the chat anymore.
Oh, Rafted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
but
I saw
also-
the
The odd
comments.
one out, but yeah, there was.
Yeah.
And Notley would as well, but
Yeah,
sometimes
oh,
a few would
Notley.
slip past the
No,
nets.
I'm not saying control the chat by like, excuse me, guys, could you just be like, they need shouting at.
Oh, got you.
You got to keep them in line.
Give them the stick, not the carrot.
Every time. Every time.
8 sticks.
8 sticks. Like an octopus.
Yeah,
stick.
but Louise getting her own studio would be very cool.
It would
Yeah.
be very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there isn't room in the venue right now for that to happen.
There is room in the venue, like in the wider venue, but that would involve me having a corner of the playable space that we work in, which is just not.
Yeah, not right now.
Yeah.
Like, but hopefully in the future, that would be
I
super
still
cute.
get to use all this space out here.
Yeah, it's really
Well,
great.
Yeah.
I'm currently looking at a space.
Oh,
But not
that's
like,
exciting.
because you've offered this space, but I think there's a lot of logistics that I've got to work out,
Yeah.
of like going back and forth and stuff.
Yeah, there's
And at
not
the
a lot of
moment,
parking around here.
It's
is
not
there?
the parking as such. It's more, well, that is an element. There's the stuff I need that I'd have a proportion of my stuff at home anyway still, because I'll be doing stuff in the evenings, do me editing in the evenings, so I probably won't have me editing in whatever premises. I
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. But it's also like pick up, dropping the kid off. So
yeah, I guess so.
I only have like a 10-minute walk to drop him off, and then when I go to pick him up from
do you
school,
want to drop him off?
yeah, it's not far away.
Easy. That's nice.
Not far away at all.
I thought you drove. That's good.
No. So it's really quick turnaround. Like, if I
But that's
pick him
tough when you're trying to manage like weekly like project.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot, right? Like to
and you are like you upload way more than me.
Well, I still don't think it's enough sometimes, and I think this month I've got to squeeze in 6 videos somehow.
because you're going away.
No, because I said yes to sponsors and forgot.
That's even better. When did you remember?
When I got an email.
From 6 of them that all got together and said hello, Peach.
So Pete the Wargamer recommended a guy who does.
Oh yes,
he's really good.
I meant to thank
He can
Pete
play the
for trying
dickhead
to-
when I need him to. I think from now, because he said, because I had a chat with him and he was like, he basically takes 20% of anything that you get from the sponsorship.
Yeah.
But he only picks sponsors that are hobby related.
Okay.
So
and,
you're
and
not.
you are invested in.
Yeah, so you're not getting some random sponsor that makes you look like a
Surfshark
sellout or something.
NordVPN,
He'll
I'm
be
not
like,
getting those.
Or
oh, there's
Bugmans
this
Bar,
cool gaming
which we are
mat.
not sponsored by.
Who?
Or Bugmans.
Bugmans Bar.
Not sponsored by.
Quench your Dwarven Hunger. Courtesy of Games Workshop, the Warhammer Company.
Warhammer Company.
More Bugmans.
Please,
more
Louise,
often.
no.
Okay.
I won't be able to upload the video.
Just blur the whole. Just blur the logo. Anyway, yeah, because what they do, because I meant to respond to that, but then I got scared.
He's great.
Yeah, apparently he's really good.
The only thing is, I really appreciate this from him. He is not stern, but he will remind you. Like, he will send you an email, and I didn't respond to it in a few days, and he was like, "If we could move forwards, I need a 48-hour turnaround on email responses, please." And I was like,
Ooh.
"Yes, Dad."
Yes, Father.
But it's fine because you need
But
that.
that's good. Yeah, it's,
You need that.
I bet he works with so many creatives
does,
as well
yeah.
that he's like, they need this.
But he's been really good. There's been a
I'd
couple
cry,
of
though.
like sponsors that haven't either paid or just like not bothered
I've had a few
fulfilling
trail
their
off
side
ones,
of it.
yeah.
And so they've just not happened. And then there's been a couple where like I could have done with someone being the knobhead, because when it's you having to be the knobhead, it makes you look even more of a
Makes you look money hungry.
money
and
hungry
weird.
and a diva. And I'm
Yes,
like,
a
I'm neither
diva.
of those things, but I also got to protect myself at the same time.
It's your job.
Yeah.
No, I completely know how you feel, where it's diva's the right word for it, I think, because our job is fun.
Yeah.
And we're, getting things for sponsorships, and that's really cool. But at the same time, it's our job. Yeah.
I mean, I had this recently. So we've got the venue needs its roof fixing.
Yeah.
So the landlords came over the other day.
Not like right above our heads, like over in that corner.
Yes,
We're fine
yeah,
here. Don't worry.
and the landlords were like, "Can you get a quote for us?" I'm like, "Why am I doing it?" But like, I got a quote for them. We did it all, and then when they got here, they were like, "So, yeah, we just wondering maybe like you could probably pay like a couple of $1,000 towards it." And I was like,
Why?
And I was like, and what was nice for me, because we have Tom, and I was like, look, yeah, I mean, I can understand because I want to collaborate with you,
Yeah.
but also because you want to maintain a relationship,
Yeah.
because you have to, because you got to be nice to your fucking landlord.
Yeah.
Right. And I was like, but like, I'm afraid when I speak to the money guy, Tom, he's just going to say no.
Yeah.
Tom,
And they were
Tom,
like,
the money guy is
Yeah.
so handy.
yeah, and they were like, oh, and I was like, I'll speak to him though, I will, but he's just going to say absolutely not. Like, and
He's
probably,
a real bastard.
and he's probably going to call me. He's probably going to swear at me. And I was like,
he
I'm
might
sorry.
even hit me.
But like, I walked away from it. I was like, you fuckers.
Yeah.
Like, why would I pay for your building?
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
outrageous, and they put you in the spot.
What's your rent for?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But why do they put you on the spot and they like make you feel uncomfortable?
Yeah.
And if you're not someone who's good at saying no,
I would have said yes instantly.
Yeah.
or
I wouldn't have
Same.
understood that wasn't a completely normal thing, and I would have been like, yeah, that sounds absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I would have been like, Tom, the money guy will hit me. That seems very... But yeah, because Tom's actually genuinely fantastic at doing that as well, because I can't remember what, I had to chase up a payment for something, and I was doing it pretty well, which is unlike me, but Tom was like, if you ever feel uncomfortable, I'll take over. I'll be that guy.
Yeah.
And it's
you,
extremely
you
useful.
do need someone, because you want to try and maintain your good, friendly relationships, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're supposed to be the guy that they want to choose because your voice is very positive and understanding and friendly. And if you're not acting like that, then they probably won't think you're the right person to do that, right?
Yeah, that's not me though.
What do you mean?
Like, as in, like, you two are, that's correct with you two, but like, I don't have that business relationship. It was really funny. Louise did we should get to it because I want to talk about it.
What is it?
No, it's just funny because you did that this week.
What did I do?
Well, what have you been up to the past week? Like, what you've been up?
Are we starting with me?
Yeah, is that okay?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. What have you been up to?
I've been organizing my Sylvanian family connection. Shall we tell them about the census?
The census. There's been a census.
Okay, let's do the
Are we
census
talking
if you
like
want.
the Armageddon census? Or is it the Armageddon census? Or
No, Louise has
It's
a
like
census for her Sylvanian
I
families.
got upset one night, so I decided to do a census for my Sylvanian families, and it's got the census.
Oh, I've done that with my my
I'm
dolls.
so glad this is why we're friends.
Wait,
I've done that.
what have you done? We had census with your dolls.
I've got like G.I. Joe, Cobra Commander,
We have
Baroness.
censuses.
Peachy, can you read out what's on Louise's census,
Okay,
please? Is that
I
possible?
shall read it out.
I think I got it
So
wrong.
I have
Wait, is
14 cats, 2 mice, 4 dogs, 5 rabbits, 1 hedgehog, Mrs. Peach is proud, 2 squirrels, 4 goats, 1 sheep, 6 little babies, 18 babies. Little babies and... oh no, the screen's gone black. Oh, there we are. 2 kids, 7 adults. So you've not only broke it into sort of like creature, but you've also broke it into what they are.
Little baby.
Little babies. Mine's not as exciting as fun as that. Mine's Red Sonja. G.I.
Times
Joe.
20.
So like
Red Sonja times 33.
Snake Eyes, Red Sonja times 32. Come on. Where are we? Where's my list?
Why did you think that Peachy wouldn't instantly match my fruit?
I don't know. I apologize.
Yeah, you've got to have it. You need that kind of
He's got a
information.
census as well.
I've got a census. Why is this weird? There we go.
Yeah. Oh
Red
my God,
Sonja,
he's got-
Vampire Slayer. I've got tick boxes. They've got names. High Elf, Sylvana Silverblade. We move our way down to G.I. Joe. We've got Joe
It's
Colton,
really
Roadblock,
fun.
Snake Eyes, Crimson Guard 1, Crimson Guard 2, Cobra Sniper, Major Blood, Destro, Baroness, Cobra Commander, Skeleton Warrior, Female Dragon Knight, Amazon Soldier, who is naked.
That's important to know she's naked. Like in brackets, is naked. Yeah.
Little babies. What? Oh, I love that. Actually, Rob made me feel like I was a right freak for doing that.
No, we're both freaks.
So yeah, I finally got. We've been, like I said, moving house. We went to freaking PeachyCon, and I want to talk
PeachyCon.
about that because
Oh, yes, PeachyCon.
we talked about it 2 weeks ago when we did Juggz, and it
then
was
it
so
died.
good. And then it died, so we're still going to talk.
I feel
about
very guilty
PeachyCon.
about that.
Don't.
Not as guilty as just
Snap.
dropping a mug.
We heard. You'll see the footage back. You can hear it, and we just spoke. Oh,
I think Rob's dropped something.
Well, dropped a Juggz mug.
Did you hear that?
Did you
hear that,
Did you hear
viewers?
that, everyone? And it was right as I was like, sometimes Rob's very loud, and then you just hear you like crashing on the stairs. Oh, baby.
So what happened? You went to so PeachyCon was on.
Yes.
PeachyCon was
So we could. Shall we talk to PeachyCon when we've got
we'll
so
do the
much to
turnaround.
talk
We'll do the go around.
Yeah, why don't we do PeachyCon after we just kind of do other stuff?
Yeah,
non-
yeah,
I want
yeah.
that to be
I
like.
think that's
I
fine.
want that to be the main event because it was,
No.
because you've done a video on it now, so now you can tell
That's
people to watch the
true.
video.
Yeah.
We got loads to talk about. Don't worry, we got
So
time.
much. This is going to be a 14-hour episode.
Yeah, it's not. Otherwise, Louise will shout at me. So, what have you been doing?
I released a video on Space Marine 2.
We could talk about Space Marine
I
2,
love
defo.
to talk about Space Marine 2.
I
Oh my
need
god,
to do
oh my
more
god, oh my
content
god.
on that.
Oh
You've
my
done
god, I'm
great.
gonna cry. I'll set you up next door and you can do the customization and we can film it for you and we will give you the footage.
Nice.
There we go. Bam,
Nice.
bam. So
Bam.
yeah, I've been playing not a lot of Space Marine 2, not as much as I'd like to be playing. I played it for like a couple of days, obviously, to make the video. And are you okay, Rob?
Yeah, keep going.
You were just looking at the.
No, keep going.
I was
I'm listening.
worried something was going wrong.
Nope.
And it was really good fun. I really like it, but then I think I fucked up because I made a video about Space Marine 2.
Which is great. I watched it.
I know you did because you commented on
Mrs.
it.
Peach watched it. She
Oh,
loved
did
it.
she like
She cares
it
nothing for
too?
Space Marines. But she enjoyed your
Oh.
little your video, your images.
We need to get her some Sylvanian family hedgehogs. I can't believe I've never thought of that before, like until right now, because they're her favorite. But yes, and then because like I had this whole thing in my head that I was so happy that Space Marine came out, and then the internet was like flooded with positivity for the game and kind of ergo, I guess, Warhammer.
Yeah.
Right? Like loads of very popular, famous, not even content creators, but just like people were like, this is really cool. What's Warhammer?
Yeah, yeah.
Posting them going to Games Workshop for the first time and buying
Oh,
miniatures
good,
and
yeah.
stuff. And in my head, I was like, this is such a cool thing. But then on the flip side, I'd seen a lot of people being like, this is a bad thing. We should be gatekeeping Warhammer.
Oh, here we go.
As you do.
Pitchforks are out.
Yeah. So I saw a lot of that of being like, these are the kind of people we don't want in the hobby because they'll ruin everything. So at the end of the video, I decided to do this little piece, which was essentially talking about like how Warhammer becoming popular might not be a bad thing.
I love that.
It was fun. And I was like, okay, so say you were bullied for liking Warhammer when you were wee. Great news. You don't have to be bullied anymore because it's actually where it's not even like, oh, it might be cool. It is cool now. Like Warhammer, I think is very like you could go into a conversation with someone and say, I like Warhammer, and they'd be like, oh, isn't that cool like thing that Henry Cavill likes? Like that's cool. Show me some of your miniatures. I heard that's the thing. Have you played like Space Marine? I've heard everyone's like it's cool, right? And as long as you're confident about it, I'm pretty sure lots of people.
I've got a little story I want to intercede. I don't have to do that. Well,
no, do it now.
To talk about the coolness of Warhammer.
Yeah.
Right? I sometimes wouldn't explain what I did as a job. And it wasn't until, it was probably a couple of years ago, Charlie, being kids, teachers have to do safeguarding, right?
Yeah. What did your daddy do?
So,
what did your mum
yes,
do? Yeah.
Charlie was like saying to his teachers, I can't wait for tonight because I'm going to play the Brown game with my dad.
Wait, I'm trying to guess what that is.
Yeah.
I'm trying to guess what
so
that
their guesses were, this is a safeguarding issue. What is the Brown game? Trying to get Charlie to explain. So they asked me when I came
What did Charlie say?
I don't know. I don't know what he said. He's a kid. He just says, because he says a lot of stuff
Kids
in his
are
head.
stupid.
Yeah. A lot of the conversations in his head and only bits come out. So it's very confusing.
I can see that.
What the Brown game was I did a game of Necromunda with Steve one night, and I left it set up, and Charlie and me played some games, moved some stuff around. But because the board's really rusty and orangey and brown, he referred to it.
I thought it might be like
as
Kill
the Brown
Team or
game.
something.
So that was the time I had to fess up to the teachers what I did.
Wait,
what did you
What did you say you did before?
Well, I just said I do art
media.
And media. I mean, media, video, because it's one of those weird conversations because they're like, you paint toy soldiers. And it's not like a short conversation.
No, it's like, what do you mean?
Because if I said, I'm in marketing, they're like, oh, okay, and they carry on with the conversation.
I usually start with like, do you know what Warhammer is?
Yeah, well,
it's on the high
I had to do that. I was like, do you know what Warhammer is? She's like, oh, my sons are into that. Yes.
There you go.
So that's what I do. This could have been a lot easier, but yeah. So I paint toy soldiers and I do videos. And it's a game, and this is the photo. This is why it's called the Brown game. I don't know why it calls it the Brown game because it's orange, and I'm really, really sad that he can't identify orange as a son of a painter.
Don't they think that's really cool though?
No, it's cool. It's very cool.
No,
so,
weren't they like, that's really cool? Yeah. Like
so
you're a YouTuber.
I've had a lot
awesome.
of fun chats with the head mistress since then. So
but
that's fun.
This is it. Like it's freaking cool.
But it's cool to talk about it. Whereas before I was a bit like, whoa.
So I did like a bit where I was like, congratulations, it's cool. So yeah, I did this bit at the end of the video where I was like, it's fine, Warhammer's cool now. And then I kind of tried to relate to the people making those comments, like to try and kind of like, this is how I think they're feeling. So the thing I hit on was the fact that like, I'm really proud to have discovered Warhammer because I was proud because it seems like a really cool thing. Like it's freaking awesome, right? It's very original, gothic, horror, sci-fi. And not only that, but partaking in Warhammer is actually very rewarding in a real way as well. Like you play games often with people, you make lifelong friends, you spend hours painting these miniatures, which at the end of the day, you've got something real. So not only is Warhammer extremely cool as an IP, it's also like fantastically rewarding as well.
Yeah.
And I think the point that I made in the video is that a lot of people feel the need to like keep that for themselves. And that's an extremely common thing to be like, I knew that band before they were cool.
Yeah.
Like it happens to basically everything that's ever been small but then got bigger is that people be like, well, I liked it before it was cool. I feel bad that it's become popular. And I thought I was being very nice. I was like, I attribute the people gatekeeping. They're proud of discovering something very niche and they're proud of the rewards that they've got from putting time into that. And I was like, but I don't think that they are going to lose that pride if 1,000 or 1,000,000 people join in because you can still have that pride and the thing is still really cool and you can still get everything you wanted from that. And I thought it was an extremely nice take.
Yeah, I thought it was really well done. I liked it. It made me giggle when you did your little,
my little
corporation.
It's over. Warhammer's cool now. We can all... I like using stock images so much for videos. It's hilarious. But yeah, I thought it was a really nice take because I wasn't like, these guys are assholes who just want to gatekeep everything. I was like, what they're feeling is fear and pride. And they're worried that their thing is going to be taken away if loads of people are into it. But I had to delete. It's probably the video I've had to delete the most comments
Oh, really?
on.
Oh, for God's
Legitimately, because I think people misunderstood what I said, and they translated me saying, I think it's okay for Warhammer to be popular, into me saying, I'm totally fine if Warhammer becomes shit.
It's also like the current culture war battleground.
I guess so, yeah.
Because Space Marine 2 is out.
Yeah.
So like if next week there's a new Star Wars game, you know, it will be like, if you're just a Star Wars dude who makes Star Wars content, and then a new Star Wars, like, you know, week in, week out, it's just normal Star Wars stuff. Then the next day, a new Star Wars video game's out with a woman. Yeah,
and then everyone
like,
starts like 100 new people you've never seen before.
jump into your channel.
Yeah,
They're all making new videos about it, and there's loads of that happening as well.
I guess
and
I did it, and then all those people who have just watched those videos hopped onto mine.
Exactly.
But like, yeah, I think, and then I had to make, and I nearly pinned a comment, but then I'm like, I don't want to because it's a really negative thing on what was a very positive video.
Yeah.
I nearly, because like everyone was like, oh, I guess you're fine with it just getting doubled down. And I'm like, no, I will be just as upset as everyone else if the Amazon series comes out, or if like miniatures start to come out more regularly and they've toned down Warhammer to make it more appeasable to the mass market. I don't think they need to do that. I think the reason loads of people are into Warhammer is because it's so different.
But we can all agree that having either the Emperor or Horus played by Robert Downey Jr. is the right decision, right?
I was going to go with Kate Blanchett. Can I get Jack Black as Perturabo? Oh, right in the fortress. Oh.
Jack Black as Perturabo would be excellent, actually.
But yeah, I thought like, and yeah, there was so many people being like, oh, I don't care that loads of people are getting into it. I just care if they make it shit. And I'm like, buddy, me too. Like, I think like most of the comments, and I replied to all the ones that said that, because I was like, I completely agree. I'll be just as upset as every other Warhammer fan if the Amazon series comes out and it's very clean Space Marines who are doing superhero battles because it's Marvel-like.
Yeah.
I want it to be over the top and gothic. And the wild thing about people making that comment is that they've just watched a 20-minute video of me gushing over how much I liked how over the top and gothic Space Marine 2 is. I'm like, they didn't skimp on the details. I love how gothic it is. And then people go to the comment section and they're like, oh, I guess you're fine with it just being toned down. I'm like, no, but I'm going to be optimistic.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for Warhammer getting a budget and becoming more popular. I want that to make the thing that I love flourish. I'm not instantly going to assume that giving something a budget is going to make it shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not. And then the ones I ended up deleting are people that were just like, oh, woke. I guess.
That old classic. Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
When I was in retail, when I worked at the Derby store, managed, and even as a full-time at the Derby store, I used to go to the Derby Wargame show, which was like the historical wargaming show.
Yeah.
And there'll be like some people that would recognize me from there because I was the Warhammer staff member.
You were the Warhammer guy.
The Warhammer guy.
Ooh.
And this is not to tar all historical wargamers with the same brush because most of them are amazing people.
Mm-hmm.
But there was this weird, at the time, like gatekeeping of like people that get into Warhammer.
You mentioned this before after we went to Salute, didn't you?
Yeah. So I remember going into a butcher's in Alistair, and there was a dad whose son.
Butcher's?
Yeah. So because I was getting some meat for like a barbecue or something like that.
Nice.
It was a good barbecue pack. I might add. It was like 20 quid.
Going
with
to your
all the
local
meat.
butcher's for barbecue meat is actually stonks.
Yeah, no,
Didn't you go to
very
Tesco? Go to
reasonable.
your
But I was
your
there.
local butcher.
I was getting some meat, as you do, buy my barbecue meat. And there was this dad who used to come into Quick Save where I used to work in retail. And he was like, you work at the Warhammer shop, don't you? I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah, he was like, your business, your company ruined my business. I was like, what? How? He was like, you're just taking people away from my hobby. I was like, what's your hobby? He was like, I do historical wargaming and model trains. I was like, I'd argue it does the opposite. It's bringing more people to your hobby because they've all got to start somewhere. And unfortunately, most kids aren't interested in like the car list wars or the...
Say that to Charlie in 1 year.
I don't know. Yeah. The 30 Years War or whatever. The Spanish War of Succession. They're not into that kind of shit.
Yeah, it's kind of
like cool Space Marines.
They want big guys with guns shooting aliens.
Yeah, it's like, I can't believe they haven't made the Spanish War of Succession 2 yet.
I mean, they did the Carlist
I'm
Wars
about to say
too.
that's
So,
kind
you
of
know.
Right, yeah.
Succession, but okay. And then World War II came out, and that was
Just waiting for World War III now
Wow.
as a games range.
We're there.
crikey. But either way,
But that was gatekeeping. There was a lot of that at the time.
But yeah,
So
it's-
can I just admit to some gatekeeping that I actually do?
Oh,
I just
do.
want-
Do.
Yeah, do. I just want to be really upfront because sometimes I'll get like comments on Age of Sigmar video like, "Hey, I play 40k. I'm thinking of playing Age of Sigmar. Is it any good?"
that's nice.
And I'm always like, "No, don't play
Robert!
it. Stay over there."
that's what Scottish people do about Scotland.
What do
want a
they do?
better
Oh,
experience?
Scottish people are like, don't come to Scotland, just rains all the time.
Yeah, it's rubbish.
It's actually the most beautiful country in the world. We're just like, don't come here.
Well, we go
it's
to
just
Wales
raining.
instead because it's just the same.
But it actually does rain all the time.
It does also rain all the time.
But yeah,
I don't actually do that. I should just say
and
that.
I was quite upset because
Yeah, rightly so.
I'm a big Warhammer fan, and I'm with the people that don't want it to be shit.
Yeah.
When it comes out, I don't want them to tone it down. It's like when we were talking about some of the 40k miniatures that have come out recently, and we're like, we actively noticed that they had toned it down a bit, and I was like, I don't like that, right? But I'm happy to see it being given a budget. If anything, that like I can't imagine being not happy for that. I don't know. It seemed weird, and I know a lot of people calling me a poser.
Louise,
Which happens anyway.
Louise, you're a black metal poser, just a bit.
I'm a black metal poser, but I'm not a Warhammer poser. Say that to my dark and nocturne slaughter cult pin, Rob. It's a very good band. It's a very good band.
See, I used to be a big fan of soundtracks as a child.
Soundtracks,
I
OSTs.
love an OST.
I love an See, they never had that name.
Oh,
They were never known as soundtracks. It was just like movie themes.
Yeah, movie themes.
Cassettes,
movie songs.
movie themes.
Which
movie
you would
songs.
listen to while I assume playing your movie game.
Yeah, exactly.
I was
or
taking
just
a census of your
like you would do. You know, you sit there and listen to your music while you got your eyes closed and like do your I forget the.
Maladaptive daydreaming.
Thank you, that one.
You're welcome.
And I used to do it all the time. And it was like start with Rocky 3 because my dad had the Rocky 3 soundtrack. Then I moved to like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which is the
Oh my
best
God,
Robin Hood
such a
movie.
great soundtrack.
Such a great soundtrack.
Great soundtrack.
So good.
So good.
And no one else, and it was really hard to get those cassettes and those.
Oh, I'm
like,
sure,
We
yeah.
should again say that was a great soundtrack.
It was.
Great
Yeah, just want to say
soundtrack.
that. Yeah.
Great
If you're one of the younger listeners, just give it a listen.
And
Robin Hood,
my
King of
my
Thieves.
party talent is, for reasons unknown, I can sing the song. Anything
it.
I do for you when I'm drunk. I can't do it
Only
while
when
sober.
you're drunk.
Only when I'm drunk.
Because that's when you feel most free.
Yes.
Like Robin Hood, the King of Thieves.
And it's tight.
Yeah,
Nothing freer.
Yeah, nothing
Yeah.
freer. Okay.
yeah.
Have you, Louise? You've played some Space Marine 2.
Oh,
you
I
want
love
to play more? What's your favorite bits?
I want to play more. I want to play so much more. I think it's a really good game, and I know there were some reviews that went around that said it wasn't very good. And I know, Rob, the first time you played it, can you describe in one word your attitude?
Yeah, it plays like Vermintide, and then once you can get past that, and it's also like a little bit of a
bit clunky.
Yeah, it's a tad clunky. Like,
But you're a
and
Space Marine. But I think a few people are getting frustrated at how like big and slow and lumbering you are as
Yeah.
a Space Marine.
There's
like-
also a bit of input lag, and like some of the reviews like are fair because you're entering it into a universe of things like Elden Ring, which is a similar style of game. This is more like a Vermintide, like Horde Smasher.
It's a hack and slash. It's
Yeah.
like Doom. It's not less like Vermintide, more like Doom.
Okay, but like either way,
it's still a
eventually
hack
you
and
just get mobbed.
Yeah.
The UI is not the best. So yeah, I didn't enjoy my first playthrough, but since then I've played it more.
You've
and
played it nearly every night. Nearly.
Nearly. Like Frostpunk 2 came out, and I'm incredibly excited about Frostpunk 2. Have you ever played Frostpunk?
No.
You would love Frostpunk.
It's amazing, Peach. It's basically the
You
premise
would really
is
like it.
in
You
like
could make a little harem.
yeah,
Oh,
like
probably.
in like
I'm in.
1880, the world ends, and there's like a nuclear winter or something, and then like you start out as the settlers of like New London, and
It's
you've
like
just got
it's like a what do you call it? Like a not resource building, like a settlement building.
yeah, it's like a settlement building
Yeah,
game, but
there we
you're
go.
constantly like everyone's basically always freezing to death because
It's
it's like
very
ice
hard.
cold, and there's like
yeah.
a generator and it gives out heat, and you've got to keep getting resources. It's incredibly fun and super hard, and because
quite hard.
and because like the difficulty threshold is like even at the lowest level, the difficulty threshold is so high.
Yeah.
that
Which
you're
is kind of the
constant-
way it should be, because you
Exactly.
are literally against all odds trying to survive nuclear winter.
Exactly. And it's kind of really reminiscent of Warhammer in many ways in that kind of regard.
Where
but
it's
do
just
it-
grimdark.
Yes, super grim dark. And then like you have to make like some pretty aggressive like decisions. Like at one point you have to be like, are you going to be a totalitarian?
Yeah.
Isn't
Like,
there like this thing where you have to be like, the children will starve, but your adults will be able to work more and provide more stuff?
yeah, it's
like
really
that.
grim
Jesus.
dark.
Yeah. It's like,
it's-
do the kids get blankets, or are you giving the adults who are in the coal mines
Yeah, you've got to
blankets?
go get heat. Do you want to like, work for now or work for later? Like you can like your
quite
reputation
grim.
can
Yeah.
go down because you like overwork people.
Oh,
It's super
wow.
cool. But
Yeah.
Frostpunk 2 is out, so I was super excited about playing that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to. What was your favorite bits about playing it?
Oh, okay. So, I have this take where I love hack and slash games. I do like Vermintide, and I do like Doom and stuff like that. But then I'm like, would I be playing this game if it wasn't a Warhammer game?
There we go.
That's my hot take.
Interesting.
And I'm like, probably I would play it because it's still a cool looking game. Probably, like I played Doom. It's kind of a Warhammer game, Doom.
Yeah.
But I think not as much as I've been playing it now, because I think my favorite part of the game is how well it depicts the Warhammer universe. And the game itself is really good fun.
Yeah.
I like the different classes. I like all the different abilities. I think the operation levels are really fun. The campaign so far has been really good. The customization mode is super fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you go ham on that
Yes.
later. Although I think you should do it on Rob's computer because he has more bits, because we let a 12-year-old play the game and he is very good at it.
Amazing.
So, but yeah, it's just...
If you got a job to do, if you got a busy day, got to mow the garden or something, just give your PlayStation controller to a kid. Say, do you want to play this? They will. Come back later. You'll have loads of tokens to unlock your coolest stuff.
Literally, I was
You'll have
so
done a job
angry.
and you've leveled up.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Like, so
Who
one
needs
of our...
those gaming farms and you've got a 12-year-old to do it for you?
Literally, because the way you get tokens to do all the customization is by just playing the game more and being good at the game.
Yeah.
And we just gave the game to this 12-year-old kid who's just been playing Fortnite for probably his whole life.
Amazing.
And he just got A's in everything in the game. So now Rob has like all the customization
See, I remember the days
options.
when I could do that, and now I'm just too slow.
Someone
my reaction
messaged me
speed.
that because I was really pissed. I was like, we've given Space Marine to a 12-year-old. He's kicking my ass. And they were like, Louise, you're old and slow now.
Yeah.
It's true.
And it's true.
Reaction
I am.
time, yeah.
I am.
true.
And that's just
I
like
used to
a thing.
have to help my dad sometimes on the PC getting past levels.
Wow.
That's us now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's us now.
That's us now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Have you played it yet, Peach?
So I have. I've not got past the tutorial because my graphics card needs an update. I thought I'd updated my graphics card, but apparently I'm struggling. So the graphics are quite low.
Mm-hmm.
And there's one mission where you are fending off against a door. There's a couple of guardsmen left alive, and you go inside.
Oh, is that when the tank kind of
I
rolls?
didn't even see a tank.
Oh,
So,
you haven't been
Oh,
gone.
when you see it on
wow.
our computer, you are
Yeah.
going to be over the moon.
but I go into this room, like the door opens, you go inside, it closes like a lift, and then everyone disappears. Apart
That's
from
handy.
Titus.
That's
so
handy.
I don't even know where the Tyranids are. So I'm just like, I'm just going to hit stuff until I see
dear.
until things die.
See, this is something I did say when I did my review of it. I was like, I have quite a well upgraded
Yeah.
computer, but I imagine if you don't, like, it's rendering thousands of
So-
really high quality animations.
I have my beef with PCs and
PCP.
console companies because they always aim for it's like we're going to aim this at the highest modern day graphics cards.
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like
if you
that.
want your games to be like beautiful, you play it on a PC.
Which I totally get, right, and I understand it because it's like anything you want people to buy the new shit to get the
They're
game
at the
and stuff.
forefront of the technology,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
but like some of the older games were like, if you got a really good PC, it looks pretty. If you don't, it still looks pretty good and it's still
but
playable.
it'll work.
It'll work and it's playable,
No.
right? Nowadays, it's like you have to get all the
Yeah.
stuff, otherwise there's no point in having that. But I can still play Skyrim, Fallout to the highest graphic levels. What other games have
I
got?
can play
like
it on my Switch. I can play
Witcher.
Skyrim on my Nintendo
Yeah.
Switch and it runs really well and looks really good.
I mean,
That's
like,
crazy.
There's the what they call Assassin's Thieves Odyssey, the Viking one, Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Look really pretty. So those games run really well. Why do I have to have clunky graphics for
For a modern
something
game.
that I could play a 10-year-old game that looks prettier than this game on its lowest setting when I can have it on my highest set? I don't understand. That's the thing that gets me.
Yeah, they're
really-
like catering to make the game look beautiful.
Yeah.
And
it bothers me a little bit when
That's
when-
fair.
when
That's
it
fair.
happens.
That's really
a
fair.
thing.
But yeah, I just
the
want
game's really good though when you get around
the thing
to
is, I
playing
want the
it.
option to just do because I like creating color schemes. I like that. That's what I loved in Dawn of War was making the color schemes and using it in a game. or using it as inspiration. And I can't do that until I get past fighting invisible Tyranids, which is hard.
That's the worst.
I'm going to ask you a couple more questions about Space Marine if you're okay,
Yes,
because it
please.
kind of is the hot topic.
I'm excited.
Right.
I'm loving it. Oh, I wrote an article for PC.
I was going to ask
did.
you about that. How,
Were you?
Like, what was exactly? That was my next question. What was the article about, and like, you know, why did it come up?
So one of my favorite features in Space Marine, because it's so pretty and because I love Warhammer so much, is the photo mode, which I think is another thing that you would be.
I would love if I could get to it.
Exactly. I'm going to let you loose. If you have time, we'll sit you in front of the computer.
I used to do that with XCOM, because you can like take photos at the end of missions, and you can like.
That's fun.
So you could do like promotional posters to go and then you see them in the sets on the missions.
I love XCOM.
I used to love that kind of stuff.
But so it's so good in the game. Like it's almost too good. So I posted a few pictures, and even the pictures I didn't do it justice. Like, and I was like, this is incredible. And then PC Gamer gave me a little message being like, would you like to do an article? And I was like, I would love to do that. So they got me to do a little article about just photo mode in the game. And I got to be a little Warhammer photographer, and I felt like an infield remembrancer. And it was really cool. And I love it. I've spent probably more time photographing Titus than playing with him. That sounded weird, but but it's so cool. So I did a little article for PC Gamer, and I'm a published journalist.
As a fan of someone who used to read PC Gamer all the time, so that was when I saw that, I was like, that's big.
That's
huge.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty big.
It's cool.
They wrote quite a scathing review of the game itself, so I think then they hoiked me in to do a little positive piece about it. But I'm more than happy to. I think it's a lovely game.
Yeah. So, what do you both think about? And I guess same question to everyone in the comments, because I went into a local gaming store the other day, and I kind of like, you know, made a little bit joke with the member of staff. I was like, so lots of people just randomly coming off the street who've never played before, looking to buy Space Marines, and he was like,
yes,
and he was like, so many.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's people in the comments who own shops, or, you know, whatever it might be.
Or maybe they're watching this podcast for the first time because they played Space Marine.
That would be really
Hello,
awkward.
new
If
friends.
you've been able to SEO your way over to this podcast.
What the fuck are you doing here?
I don't know how, but congrats. Like, and some like really big YouTubers like Peng Zero,
Millions of subscribers.
Like he's done like at least 2 videos on it. Loads of very, very big YouTubers in the computer game
Maybe
space.
Zendaya one day.
The PC game, maybe Zendaya.
Maybe Zendaya.
Holding out hope. Yeah, let's go.
I know
Call
right now,
me.
Sean Bean's got a packet of chips. He's got a car, and
this
he's
is it.
playing
There
Space
will-
Marine 2.
there will be-
Bloody Titus.
There'll be so
Bastard.
many celebrities who are just playing Space Marine because it's just the latest released AAA game.
Yeah, exactly.
This is it, and they're
Oh,
right. Like
yeah.
it's cool. Anyway,
Yeah, so yeah, well, that was kind of going to be my question. Like, obviously that's great that loads of people are going into the stores and picking up the minis. Also, can I just make a side note? It was really fun.
you can make a side note drop.
This is fun. Is when you're playing through the game, Peach, when we show you the customization later, you can get some like absolutely amazing looking like armor, and it's like if you do 35 missions, you can unlock this armor.
And it's like the very detailed, like it's got like an eagle for the faceplate armor.
Yeah, like
cool.
you know, like
Well, like the honor guard kind of stuff.
Yeah, like master
We'll
fit-
have to get Natty background.
yeah, like
too.
master artificer armor, like, you know, like really, really good. But what made me laugh is that like your basic armor, your default armor is the armor that you like. If you buy a box of intercessors, that's your basic bitch armor, right? And they don't sell a miniature that is the good armor, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and I do love the idea of like going to a Warhammer. Like, I might get back into 40k, and then when I play against a Space Marine player, just be like, "Oh, you got the default skins, have you?" Gross.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
See, I because you mentioned this about Titus, like the workshop did a model about a year ago, I think.
Yes, I mentioned on my Twitter that I was like, they should have done a release box to tie into the release of Space Marine. And apparently they are doing some Space Marine 2 releases later.
Yeah, that's when to do it, after the hype has died down.
Yeah, so because in my head
Smart.
it would have been really
Still cool.
smart to have had like a box of Titus, those squad mates. This is like the tutorial mission, right? And
It's the same through the game.
Yeah, and a bunch of Cadians just and you treat that as a data sheet or like a small.
I think they said that they're going to be releasing some like kill team stuff like that. So I think that's going to be happening, which is super cool.
Yeah.
Like I said that they should do that. Apparently they are doing that. But I think Rob's criticism a lot of people are saying,
Yeah,
if
thank
I'm
you.
to use Rob's terminology for
Nice,
just saying
nice.
something I think, but I don't want to say it myself.
Correct.
I'm hearing a lot of comments online of people saying that maybe they should have
Grown men with tears in their eyes have been saying to me.
with tears in my eyes have been turning up to my house to tell me.
Strong men with tears in their eyes.
Oh, it's a Trump thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Trump thing.
Strong men with tears in their eyes.
With tears in their eyes. Yeah, because he only respects strong men. So it's really funny because they're like a strong man with tears in. Anyway, it
My
doesn't.
favorite one is I got the concept plans. I'm not the president. Yeah.
I need you to know this podcast is a concept of a podcast. But yeah, like the
Strong men with tears in their eyes.
if we're going to talk about Space Marine, like.
Oh yeah, but they should have timed the release to
Yeah.
line up with people being like, "Oh my god, I'm so excited! I need a Space
Yeah.
Marine right now."
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Or push fit as well.
yes, all of the things, like literally the box that you can buy. You both work in the marketing department. Like why?
Yes. It's just scheduling and timing.
Louise always like makes this joke, which makes me laugh, where she's always
What do I
like,
say?
they're always amazed when Christmas comes around.
Oh yeah.
It's like, fuck,
Yeah.
it's December 22nd. Shit.
So one of my favourite things to do is like we want to do, and this happened at least 3
Every
years
year
on the
in a
trot.
row, yeah.
3 years on the trot for me was like we want to do what Amazon do.
What's Amazon
Or
do?
like John Lewis do. John Lewis. So want to do the John Lewis style
Oh,
advert.
the Christmas ad.
Christmas
I
advert,
remember,
right.
and I remember the first time they told me this. I was like, that's such a touching
But then
idea.
all the actual practical workers and grafters in the department go, they start straight after Christmas for the next year to do that, don't you?
Yeah.
Not 2 weeks before Christmas, like you're giving us now.
Or in September.
And that happened every year. It was like, it's Christmas. That came around quick.
But they had
Let's
some really
do that
lovely
again.
ideas. They were like, we want to do this like very touching piece where it's
Like
this
me and
kid.
Duncan in bed together.
Like that's it. That was quite touching. Yeah.
He's a very touchy guy.
He's a
Wow.
very touching.
Wow,
I remember the
Duncan
goth
Rhodes.
rocker one that you did. No,
Goth
it
rocker.
wasn't the goth rocker. It was the Noise Marine.
I put loads of socks down with trousers on that one as well.
Love that one.
Yeah.
Nice.
That
Yeah.
was really good. You could really see the socks from far away.
Good.
Why are
But,
you looking, Louise?
They did like I
Why
wasn't.
were
They
you
were.
looking?
It was like a fisheye lens they used on those scenes. It was very uncomfortable. Sold a lot of minis though.
It did. It did.
But they had this really cute idea, and it was really touching. It's like this little kid, and he's getting his first Warhammer toy, and then it follows his journey into being an adult, and then he's got a wife, and he gets her into it, and I was like, maybe not now. Maybe she's already into it, and they meet at a Warhammer shop, and then they get their kid into it, and the kid opens up the first thing, and the adult's like, oh. And then it's more Warhammer more often. But like it was a cute idea, right?
Yeah.
Like I think that's really sweet. But yeah, they never got there in
We did
time.
one with James Workshop, didn't we? And then it got canned.
Wait, what one
'cause-
was that?
Oh, so
I love it. How dare they can his beautiful
some company
face?
they outsourced it to a company.
Yeah.
And obviously within the marketing department, you had a load of videographers, editors,
Yeah.
photographers,
Hobbyists.
presenters,
Yeah.
a lot of talent in there where you could have just done it in house. But they
You can
chose to-
essentially make any video any day you want.
And we used to. We used to.
This
We used
is
to do
it.
it all the time.
Like-
you used to do it all the time as well. You used to make cool
Remember when you were a
Excel,
wizard?
The Excel video for the sprays and stuff.
Chaos
and you
Black
always-
Excel.
I unfortunately remember those
Google
Yeah,
videos.
they
it.
were great videos.
Google
Rob.
Chaos Black Excel.
Don't.
Google
I'm
Chaos
hoping
Black.
Tom Moore's early days
Excel.
of acting was great. Those in the bench pressing.
Yeah.
Oh
gym.
yeah, I remember that
Just
one.
looking over at you. Or looking over at Duncan.
It was Duncan in the Chaos Black
But yeah,
Excel.
this Christmas one with James Workshop was
Oh,
like,
yes.
we'd done a load of filming. It was great. It was fun. But the company that like they hired out to, they used stock footage
Oh,
from
no.
like Nottingham Trent University instead of Workshop. So it talks about Workshop and like Games Workshop. And they just got like
Some university kids.
some university clips. But there's a bit where James Workshop opens the door and goes, ah, ha, 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 and closes. It's supposed to be like people having fun and dancing.
Yeah.
It was like a couple of like, mid-20 females, like scantily clad, dancing away. So
I kind of love
it
it.
looked creepy. When you put that footage next to his reaction.
Next to what Steve
'cause
being like, oh, what are
in
you
his
girls
head-
doing?
In his head, it was like people having fun. It was like,
But they just like Googled stock images of people having fun, and it was just two like sexy girls dancing on the
yeah.
table. And Steve's like, "You crazy kids, enjoy your Space Marine." I actually love that.
yeah, it was weird.
That does sound weird.
And then they got canned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'd like you to know that I'm going to go back and compliment them on canning that. That's a great job.
Honestly, I'm furious. But back to your point, I think that's it. I think they would have Loved it. I don't think they were like, let's just not do a release to tie in.
It's crazy.
Let's
It's just that they just find out a week beforehand.
No, I just think they just misplanned it.
How do you misplan something on a 6-year schedule?
Because they're probably so busy planning for Space Marines launch in general that they didn't have time to coordinate all the sprues and stuff. I just think they just missed the boat. I think
But
the
boat, it's
it
like,
has been out for 3 years. It's been like slowly arriving.
Yeah, it's the most slow.
And then guess what? It got this close and then it went, oh, we're going to go pack it.
Anyway, I mean, I don't care. They're making up money, but like, I think it's a shame.
It's not about them making enough money. It's about the consumers getting good products that they want because they're excited about something that we also like.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say.
We don't want it for them because Games Workshop will make another £1 million, which is a drop in the ocean. We want it so that more people get into the hobby.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. How do you feel about Peach? How do you feel about these massive YouTubers starting to cover in something like Louise said, up until very recently, wasn't like, lots of people are like coming out of the woodwork, like, oh, I've played, or I like it, or I don't really know anything about it. Like, how do you feel about that?
I think that's great because what that does is it might shine a light on smaller channels. People might start watching their content. As Liz often tells me, you don't diminish the flame when you light other candles. It's just a nice saying. It's just spreading that joy around. So I think if there's these bigger channels with massive followings and they're watching stuff in the algorithm, it's probably gonna someone's like, oh, I really like that because it was talking about Warhammer and is Warhammer cool?
Like,
and then,
what's Warhammer? Google that, and then they find
launches
your video.
up like how to paint Space Marines, Essential Guide to Painting Space Marines.
Wes Hammer said something very cute one time. Shout out Wes Hammer, which was all boats float together.
Yes,
all boats rise together or something, which I thought was really cute.
Yeah.
Right?
I like the idea that someone's watching Space Marine 2 footage by like a really big YouTube, and they say I do wonder if anyone's made miniatures of Sharp, and then like. Then, Peachy, your time to shine. Yeah.
That's all I'm hoping for. Those hidden Sharp fans coming out. I mean, I get so many people going, like, I watched your back report and never heard of Sharp. I can't stop watching it. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I never heard of Sharp before you. You Sharp influenced me.
I Sharp influenced you. I sharpened you.
Sharpened me.
Okay, so I think where we were was Space Marine 2. We were actually what Louise has been up to. So I'm going to quickly round off with, and also you've this week.
Oh, I finished the new Rascal Town.
I love the little squirrel.
Oh, spoiler. I've posted it, so it's good spoilers. There are more little guys than you can shake a hairy stick at. Mm-hmm. There are so many. I just finished painting them yesterday, and then I got straight onto photography. I'm going to throw up because I'm so excited because he's so cute. So I think in the next 2 weeks, you should see him in his full glory.
Yeah, Rascal Town is your miniature brand, right?
Rascal Town is my little miniature brand.
Yeah.
We've got 5 Rascals now, which is crazy.
How do you feel about the mini?
I love him. We say this every single time we do a new one, and it's getting really old, but he's my favorite one yet. What
I've got
are you thinking?
an idea to pitch to you.
Yeah, pitch it.
You have 5 Rascals now.
Yes.
Right, okay. You have a kind of a setting.
Yes.
You don't really have a place in the world. It's a town.
It's a town.
You still need to world build, right?
Yeah.
I feel down the line there should be a Rascal D&D. Rascal Town D&D.
Yeah,
Rascal RPG. Rascal playing game.
Well,
I like a Rascal
I've actually been working on my Rascal furry suit.
Can you not, though?
Yeah.
We're calling it a mascot suit, Rob. I want Rob to dress as a giant rascal for several events.
Oh, I actually 100% want to be a rascal at Salute.
But you
like a 6 foot. No, like, because there'll be a head on top of me. Like a 7 foot.
You have lumbering energy. We don't.
Yeah, I've got lumbering energy.
You're too big.
Just like this. And then I'll be like all cute and like really, I'll try and be really nice and like pat kids on the head and stuff. And then accidentally just like whack a guy in the head. I'll be like, I'm a rascal.
You're a rascal.
Just be an absolute menace at an event for a weekend.
Like drunk.
Yeah. Whoa, I'm sorry.
Going to buy stuff in a stand and just knock off all the blister packs
with your
off the
giant
shelf.
tail.
Oh, like just Mr. Blobby into everything.
Yeah.
Rascal. You can't blame me. I'm just a rascal. And they're like, you need to pay for this, sir. You just put 5 acorns on the table. Well, goodbye.
That'd be perfect.
That's great. But I'm
so
really
if you make
excited.
cosplay at home, please make Rob an outfit.
Yeah, if you want to make me a rascal
It has
outfit.
to be like a really cursed fursuit though, where it's like just made of like shit socks and
It's like
mops.
Five Nights at Freddy's style.
No, I need to look like a rascal. You got to do a rascal.
Yeah, but like you're too tall.
All right, or just
We need like a little short guy.
well, if you do the fishing goblin, then it could be like a latex, like greasy number. Yeah,
Oh, I'll
really
wear
grim.
that.
I don't.
I'll wear that.
I
Yeah, and again,
actually-
fishing rod for all
Can we
shenanigans.
make
Yeah,
this very clear that I actually got shivers from this conversation, and not good ones, kind of disgust ones.
I'll wear a flesh gimp suit for you.
I appreciate that. Also, a friend of mine printed out a goblin.
Hey.
Tiny. So this could be something we do soon as well.
That'd be
So
fun.
Spoilers. But yeah, just finished a new Rascal in Rascal Town, and I'm gonna throw up because I'm so excited.
I couldn't see why because he looks.
He
mega.
is honestly so good.
Peach, what have you been up to?
Yeah, your turn.
I have been making videos. You kind of covered me earlier. I've been making some videos.
Sorry.
I've been. I don't know what I've done.
You
so
wanted
much.
to show us
I've
your,
got some stuff.
you
show
got
us your stuff you're
6
excited
videos.
about.
I've got 6 videos to do.
What are the sponsors? Can we know?
So yes, I'll just quickly talk about that.
Yeah,
so
I'd love
I've
to.
done one for Warlord, which is coming out this week.
Warlord Games.
Warlord Games.
The Warlord
So
Games.
They approached me ages ago about doing like some bolt action stuff, and I'm a big fan of Band of Brothers. I don't know if you've ever seen Band of Brothers.
Oh, we watch Band of Brothers
Oh,
all
the
the
Band of
time.
Brothers.
So it's about the specific, but if you watch Masters of the Sky,
I know I need to see this.
Isn't it a bit
Oh,
shy?
my God,
So many people say it's a good thing, but
it's shy.
oh really? I'll watch it anyway. Then.
It's rubbish.
Tell you wrong.
Yeah,
Okay,
go.
all right. You
Yeah,
can.
Band of Brothers, we had like the whole box set when I was
Yeah.
wee, so
That's
I
so
remember
good.
it very
There's a
well.
particular part of the show when they're in the Ardennes, so it's the snow
yeah,
episode.
yeah.
And there's a bit where Lieutenant Spears runs through, connects with another company, and
Yeah,
runs
yeah.
through
And runs back.
and runs back.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was basically basing my stuff off that period. And I was really proud of the paint guide.
Is
So
this for Warlord?
for Warlord,
Yeah.
yes, that's got the green light now, so that's going ahead. I will
You're
be
fucking
launching that.
smashing it, Pete.
Ugh, yeah.
You're doing great.
Before that, I did a video about scatter terrain. I used.
I
the-
love that. I commented on it.
Thank you.
I thought it
yes.
was very good.
I used the terrain you printed out because you kindly donated me some stuff which I'll use for Stargate.
Yeah.
But there was a video I've been wanting to do a bit of stuff on scatter scenery anyway, because a lot of people get focused on like the big buildings or miniatures and they forget about all the extra little bits of debris. So I just did a little thing on crates, chests, gold.
It did quite well, didn't it?
I'd say so, yeah.
I watched it when it had a
But I was trying to be
couple of
clever because
1,000
my
views.
sponsor was something called Crate 3D. They do these like modular game miniature cabinets. It's like Lego miniature cabinets.
They're
if that
very
makes-
cool.
They are
They're
cool.
like display cabinets.
Yes,
yeah, they're really sweet.
So I was hoping to get one, but I didn't get one. But it's fine now.
Is that one of
Oh.
your Pete the Wargamer hookups?
Yes.
Ah,
yes.
see, that's
Yeah,
it. They
so-
recommend things that it's like it's not out of place
Yes,
for you to.
and he's really good because he was like the brand wants to push back the release, and I was like, I release every Friday at this time, and I thought we need to do it this time. He's like, no, the brand doesn't get to dictate your schedule.
That's
We'll make sure.
lovely.
And so all I need to do is when they send me a link, I'll just change the links. They've got a Kickstarter going.
Right.
And they're
Okay.
happy with it.
Yeah, absolutely cool.
You're
with
smashing
so,
it. I'm so proud.
So I was really chuffed for that. I did a little Sharp skit for the advert, for the ad read. So I'm going to do that for everyone. It's just, so that was called Sharp's display case. So every time I do an advert, it will be
In
something.
character.
Yeah.
I
so
like it.
the next one I've got is called Sync, which is a D&D game about pirates, but it's all tattoo art. So you got
Oh,
ink
cool.
Oh,
and
cool.
Sync.
Oh, I get it.
And it's really nice, but that's been pushed back a bit. So that'll be called Sharp's Tattoo. So Sharp getting a tattoo on his arm.
Have you enjoyed like getting sponsors, but like the sponsors, like you're also like, oh, I like someone's
yeah.
telling me something I didn't know about that I like.
Yeah, there's stuff I'll be like, I'd want that. There's been one sponsor which I'm glad didn't go through.
Oh,
And
yeah?
I started.
It was me.
Yeah,
It was the honest one.
It was the honest one. And I was like, I got the game. I started playing it. I wasn't that zazzed. It wasn't like Raid. I like Raid. I know people.
Was
hate
it a
Raid.
mobile game?
It was a mobile
People
game.
hate Raid because it's like the meme.
Yeah, it's the Nickelback of mobile games.
Yeah, it's the Nickelback.
I think it's a really well done
I
mobile
like
game.
Nickelback.
Yeah, I
like
actually really
Nickelback.
like the game.
Look at
Whereas
this
the other one that I
photograph.
had, I was a bit like, this is a bit flat and I'm not invested in it. And then eventually the brand
So what do you
didn't
do?
it.
What do you do in that case? Can you decline?
I was going to have the conversation with Tim and like,
Being like, I don't feel comfortable
I played the
promoting
game.
this.
I'm not zazzed by it.
Zazzed.
And he'll probably go, then don't do it.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I can't imagine anyone being like, no, you must.
Yes.
You
So
must.
I guess to anyone watching is if you see a sponsor, it's because I'm interested in it or I'm behind it. I won't just do it because it's like money generating.
My boy's not a sellout.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
no.
It's something you believe in.
Yeah.
I knowing me and knowing you,
Uh-huh.
No, knowing us and how paranoid we get if we even say something mildly controversial in a video, I can't see us clicking upload in any video that we weren't 100% morally behind.
I had that with the Warlord one, actually. When I was doing the talking head, I started talking about, like, because I like World War II as a setting, right?
Yeah.
I also, and I'll put this out, some people will hate it, but not every German was a Nazi, not every Nazi was a German, right?
Yeah.
So I'm comfortable painting Germans for World War II. It doesn't make me a fascist, it doesn't make me a Nazi.
And it doesn't mean you're glorifying the Nazis, no.
I only just learned what fifth column meant the other day.
Is this like the traitors within the baddies?
Traitors, and also traitors within the goodies. It's basically just mean, it's basically like saying spies, but a little bit more than a spy. It's basically someone inside of an institution that's like against the institution.
Oh, like you when you were at Games. No, I'm joking.
I was the fifth column at Games Workshop. Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of V, which I'll do a battle report on. And there's a bunch of aliens, because the aliens are basically invading Earth, but there's a bunch of aliens that are against the Earth being invaded, so they help the resistance. And they're called the fifth column. So it's designed by like Hugo Boss. So they're smart looking, pretty uniforms. Why do baddies always get the best uniforms?
Yeah, have you seen that meme where it's just
that also needs to be a video?
There's a meme, and I don't know if you've seen it, where it's like the sci-fi movie, and it's like the good guys and they're all in like their nerdy scientist uniforms, and then the bad guys have like the incredible long coats with like basically it's like the Nazis, and it's like, I wonder which one I'm going to pick as the cool one.
I've got some psychology around that, which is really interesting.
Go
but
on.
I'll finish my
finish your point. Sorry.
But so I was like, really, there's a branch of the German army called the Fallschirmjäger, which are the paratroopers.
Yeah.
And the early war stuff, later war's fine, but the early war, I just found the colours really pretty, because they have like this grey blue, like Thunderhawk blue. I really love Thunderhawk blue. They have the helmet that's Thunderhawk blue. They have the trousers that's Thunderhawk blue. And they have this really nice camo smock. Ooh. And I just thought those colours together look really nice. And I've always wanted to collect those, and that was my last collection. So I wanted to do that with this box set. But I was like trying to, like, every time I was saying it, I was like, does this sound like I support
is
the
this
Germans?
glorifying?
So it was like, no, I
Nazis.
like the colours. I like the visuals. Everyone wants to shoot a Nazi in the face.
What would you say to someone that did say that? I'm a commenter, and I say, don't you feel like, devil's advocate, don't you feel like you painting this and promoting this as a fun hobby is glorifying the Nazis?
No, I don't think it is. Because there is a danger of forgetting these things if you don't talk about it and you don't present it. And also, I am reenacting something that's maybe from a movie. Real. And there's,
that's a good point. There's a difference between me painting my colorful space marines for funsies because I think they're cool, and being like, this is a historically accurate recreation.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, if people want to reenact Normandy or reenact Monte Cassino, yes, you are one of you has to play the opposition, right? Or the bad guys, as people like to say sometimes. But that's the same for history. You know, like in certain battles, some horrible stuff happened. One of you has to play that side. Yeah. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. You're just reenacting history, and you're learning lots from doing it. I learned a lot from like doing my research on the German uniforms for the Fallschirmjäger. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Or I never realised they had this like symbol on them.
You're learning about history, and that's really important.
Yeah, but also you become aware of the history as well. So then you're learning more about the stuff, as opposed to just going, oh yeah, everyone that wore that uniform was baddies. I mean, that's
you gotta understand why as well.
Yes,
And it might be because the uniforms were really nice.
I feel World War II has more stigma than any other
It's because it was so recent.
Yeah.
It was so recent and well documented.
Yeah.
And like, it blows my mind when I think like, because when I was wee, World War II felt like a billion years ago. Like, it felt as old as any other ancient battle that happened in the past. But then I'm like, okay, so the difference between now and the 1980s, which doesn't feel that long ago, was like the difference between the 1980s and World War II.
Yeah.
Right? It was 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking
that's
nothing.
Fair.
So it really, it hits home, especially nowadays where everything is quite politically strife, and you've got these people who are just saying insane things, like they're eating dogs in Springfield, right? They're saying these crazy things.
They're eating the dogs.
They're eating the dogs. And it's like, we're all here at home like, how the fuck can anyone believe that? Yeah. And then it's like, you look at like Nazi Germany, and it's like, how the fuck did anyone fucking listen to Hitler?
Yeah.
Right? And then you think, oh, they're just like people like they were these days.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying to think like how, because right now I'm like, that would never happen again.
Yeah.
But it happened
Yeah.
then, and that was not that long ago.
No, I mean,
Also,
really?
everyone was on so many drugs.
Were they?
Oh, they were high as fuck. Do you not know this?
What's that, sorry?
Was everyone high as fuck in World War
everyone,
II?
everyone in Germany was high as
Good
shit.
for them.
Like,
But
they were
actually
having-
not, because it led to Nazi. Not good drugs.
No. Yeah, everyone was high as shit.
Probably
Yeah.
explains some of the fanaticism.
Well, this is it. Maybe.
Did you not know this? Like, Hitler was
No.
on absolutely, he was cooked out of his
surprise
brain.
me. It
Yeah, I
wouldn't
wouldn't be
surprise
surprised if he was coked out as nuts. He's an art student, but like,
Not very good one. From
I'm going to
my
cut
end.
this
Very
in.
good one.
I want you to know I'm going to cut the entire last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
reckon-
fair.
So, Peach, you
Yeah, so
bought.
so the World War II thing. I've done the video, really proud of it. But the uniform
Yes.
psychology, right? I find this really interesting, which is why I want to do a video on like uniforms, like
Oh,
why
that's
do baddies get the best uniforms? Because
I love that
if
actually.
you do a good guy in a smart uniform, right? He looks green, he looks fresh, he looks like a recruit. Therefore, not as elite, quite new, not as good in the game. You do a good guy in battered looking uniforms with a beard, maybe like a 5 o'clock shadow, tatty looking equipment, looks like a veteran.
Commissar, right?
Looks more
Yeah.
elite. Looks like this guy's tier 1 operative. He knows
Yeah.
what he's doing. You do the flip side for the baddies. You do the battered looking baddie, Mordor Orc, not very good, very weak. You do the smart baddie, very elite, very tough. And I find that dynamic really interesting when you like flip it between like good guys to bad guys.
Can I explain why it's like that?
Hmm.
You understand media have been telling us that the rich are the evil ones for literally generations.
What?
Like you know,
What?
every single movie, you're like,
What do
it's
you
the
mean?
businessman in the suit. It's
Yeah.
the corporation who are
Why
trying
is
to
it
show.
never the little poor dormouse?
Yeah.
That's the-
Do we understand that? Like the reason that they get them is because the artists who create this art are saying these people are objectively evil, and then like that's
What?
what you're picking up on.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
get that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
What?
that's not lost on us, is it?
What do you mean? Yeah.
Yes, I mean I've always like you know that up there people in power tend to have like some interesting choices.
They have nice suits.
They have
watched-
nice suits.
They have good cars.
Designed by Hugo
Yeah,
Boss.
like the reason that the
watched
bad guys
Fern
look
Gully.
disheveled, the reason the good guys look disheveled and poor is because that's who we are.
Oh, it's like They Live. It's like They Live. Have you seen that movie?
Oh, I
Yeah.
love They Live.
Yeah. They live.
There's
Rob's just opened my eyes.
There's
They
an
live.
amazing video if you want to watch it by a guy called Some More News, Dr. Mr. Cody, and he does. It's like a 2.5 hours. It's called Some More
It's a
News,
video
the movie.
essay.
Yeah, it's a video essay, but it's a movie, and he's like every single bad guy in every 80s movie is Donald Trump, and you're like, no, it's not. And then he goes through every single movie, and you're like, oh my god, every single bad guy is that
It's
guy.
like the billionaire, like real estate nightmare human with the
But
big
some of them were
attitude.
like
Who-
specifically designed on him with like their hair, the mannerisms, like the whole thing. Like, and you're like, no, it's not all of them. And you go back and you're like, it wasn't the wet bandits. They were not, I don't think.
I'm showing Peachy this picture of a military raincoat.
I love those. You've shown me these before, and I
Have I?
want
Did I
them.
send you
Yeah, I
these?
like
I
that
like the Dutch one.
I like that one,
I
and I
like
like
that
that one.
one.
I like that one too.
You now have to send me the picture for
It's
the to edit in.
military raincoats.
Show it closer.
Military raincoats.
They look great.
Peach, you also brought in some show and tell.
Yeah, I've got some show and tell. So, in our last video, which didn't go out,
I'll pretend I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
What's
yes.
that?
Oh, what is that?
Oh my,
Oh my
gosh,
God.
it's Oathmark.
So I recently went to not Warlord, North Star Games.
Oh, yeah.
And I was talking to Nick Ayres' son Joe. I want to get into Oathmark, and it's basically Warhammer Fantasy, but Joe's version of it.
And we love Joe.
We love Joe.
We love Joe. Big
and
shout out, Joe.
It's very much square based, square based models and stuff like
Hashtag
that.
square blast.
It is got your classic tropes of like elf warriors, dwarf warriors, orc warriors, goblins, the like. See, like it's just Warhammer. But the big mechanic in this game is the realm building mechanic, Rob.
Oh,
Robert
yeah,
George
the
Symes.
picture. This was so cute. Let's
Oh,
definitely
so
do this
I'm
again.
going to show you a
Yes.
little page here, which is
It's that one.
you basically have, it doesn't look, it's just a bunch of concentric circles, and you roll a D100, I think it
No
is.
biggie.
And you work out what you can pick if you want to, you don't have to roll, but rolling is fun. And you basically pick out what your capital is.
Can I
You can have a
see?
look.
Thank you.
Pick out what your capital is, and you can pick from humans, orcs, dwarves, whatever. You get a list of units you can have in your army. And then you start going out those circles and building more things. You can build some other capital cities. I can have an elf city. I can have an orc city. In my army, it doesn't have to all be, you can do an entire army of humans.
This is something you said last time that I
Yeah.
really liked, which is that it can be a mix.
It can be because you're building a realm, not a race, if that makes sense. So I've done one. I've got my map here, which is I might
Peachy
change
did a
the name.
map!
I might change the name, but I did all my rolling. I got all my different types of buildings here.
Hold it a bit further back.
Here. Is that
Yes.
better? Is that better?
Adorable.
Yes.
So I'll call it Ebenfell at the moment, and I just literally rolled and I thought, I love maps. I love making maps. I
You're
love
good at
making
it too.
narratives. So this is all I needed to get myself into this game was the fact that I can now have an army of. I've got some undead up here, led by an ancient warrior. It could be Conan for all I know, who's come back to life.
Yeah.
Maybe by some good necromancer.
Yeah.
Or they're all evil.
Which means he won't be dressed well.
Well, yes, he won't be. He'll be dishevelled clothing, and he won't have a Tesla. Definitely won't have a
Just
Tesla.
like Jesus.
Yeah.
But they are
you know they're making a second Jesus movie?
I thought you were going to say they're making a
Jesus.
second Jesus. I'm like,
Is
thank
it-
No, you
God.
said Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you mean-
they're
do you
making
mean
Passion of the Christ too.
Passion of the
Oh,
Christ.
is this like Easter when
Yeah.
it comes back out?
Yeah, something
Oh
like
my
that.
God, I forgot that happened.
Yeah, it's like 2 Cross, 2 Furious or something.
Two cross.
Two cross, two
furious.
Anyway, I just thought. Anyway, carry on, Peach. You were
Carry
saying.
on, Pete.
Carry on, we're talking about Jesus. But yeah,
Rob.
I mean, the whole idea of just like building your own realms and like I rolled the High Fells. I was like, what's the High Fells? Oh, I can have access to a dragon.
There's nothing comfier than sitting down at your kitchen table and
Yeah.
doing a bit of world
exactly
building
what I
and
did
just
here.
Do you feel like doing the world building inspired, like how you were going to create the army and the minis?
So it took me all by surprise, if I'm honest. And that
Oh,
was a
okay.
very good question because
it's a good question. That's why I just went,
Yeah, I rolled.
I've
and I-
interviewed people before.
oh wow.
And I was like, okay, so I'm just going to pick humans because I've got loads of human models at home. So I was like, that can be the city. And I was like, oh, I've got some elf models. I've got some dwarf models. Oh, they can be like smaller factions on the outside. Oh, if I have a dwarf smithy, I'll get these units and stuff. But what I've now found is I've just been building lists of things that I want to have and things that are a wish list. So
I would be heavily dictated by whichever realm I thought had the coolest spot in the hills. Can I see your map?
Yeah, of course you can.
Thank you.
I've even put Rascal
I
Town
know
in
you
there.
did.
So I can have goblins. I might have cloth goblins in my army.
Ebenfell's a cool name. What's
just-
wrong with that?
I don't know. I just
That's good.
Zarkaz.
Zarkaz. I was just about making up
Arcsmithy.
noises. I was like,
Ebonite
Charlie, give me
Forest.
some names.
So, in order for me to
Rascal
build
Town.
an army in Oathmark, you go through this process.
You don't have to. You
this.
can just build an army
Right.
using the army lists.
Yeah.
So there's like a human one, an elf one. So let's say you got an elf army that already exists, right? And you just want to play with that, but with these rules to see how different it is, see if you enjoy it. You can do that. But the idea of this game is you build a realm, so you then pushes you out to like,
very cool.
oh, with my human army, I can have an orc and a dragon and undead charioteers and some weird wargs and some undead, I don't know, revenants or something like that, mummies, whatever, however you want to do it. But I think the concept of having the choice of like, I could use my empire army or I can just start from scratch and then make something that's a realm that has like its own iconography. So let's say I do a human symbol, which is, I don't know, a shield with an eagle on it.
Love
But
it.
then the dwarf shield turns into more of an anvil with a stylized runic eagle.
Nice.
And then the elf one looks
Yeah,
more like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
branches and stuff
You
like
should
that.
do this.
Yeah, so yeah.
Do a video just on
I
world
should.
building.
Yeah, you know what? I
Do a
should.
world
You should do a video
Yeah.
on world
I
building.
want you to do this.
I would-
I should do a video on
I
world
would
building.
listen to a 20-minute video about just this single thing about Oathmark.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's really cool. And
Yeah.
We need
it's
to
really
get a
inspirational.
time lapse on you drawing a
Yeah,
map.
I should.
Or if you wanted, like, we could always, like, obviously make it your video, but like, if you wanted us to like roll out and make our own realm, and then we could send you
smart.
like,
I'm
Yeah,
I want to
yeah.
do a world building video on Rascal Town, and this is do it.
Yes,
do it.
do it.
Literally just do it. Like how to world build.
How to world build. Yeah, I mean,
It's such.
and that's the
I would
thing.
watch the shit out of that.
you do your color test for your colors, then
Yeah.
I start doing like designing my iconography.
Iconography,
Yeah.
like what answer, like because one of the huge things that really helped me with world building is that Chris from downstairs asked me some really good questions. So like Chris, to like tangent slightly. So I was struggling because world building's quite a big thing to do.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
worlds are very vast and complicated. So Chris, who does an RPG called Doomsong downstairs,
RPG system. Their company is called Caesar Inc. Doomsong's
and
their
they're great
RPG
people,
system.
great people.
Yeah.
So he did something really smart. He was like, okay, instead of like puzzling over the big picture, imagine some episodes of a cartoon or a TV series and how they would work in that thing. So he was like, what's a trope in a cartoon or a TV series? And I was like, oh, like a friendship goes, or like they go on an adventure and they get lost, but they discover something else. Like, cool, how does that work with Rascal Town?
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah.
think of TV tropes and then how that would work in your system. And it helps you just build these very niche little things that kind of like help a narrative overall. And that was one of the most useful things I got
it's very
for
smart.
work.
It's very
Yeah, it was
interesting.
super
Yesterday,
smart.
because they work in the same building as us, yesterday they had like an entire day jam session because they've got their next Kickstarter coming out soon.
Very exciting. We'll put a link.
Very exciting. Yeah. And all three of them have worked in the game industry for other games companies for years, but now they've all left, and so they're still doing. And I can't say who for, but there are
I
several
was
IPs.
just about to say who for.
Yeah, there are several IPs which they're creating stuff for, which you will have heard of.
Yeah,
like,
very
but they
exciting.
are just three little independent people working in a tiny cupboard
amazing,
office
yeah.
downstairs.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Because they want to build their own thing, which I think is really beautiful. And then, so it's Doomsong if you want to go Google it. But they had like an entire day-long jam session, didn't they? Like 2 days ago, where they're like their next book. They're like, right, okay, because Doomsong's a system, and then the camp, and we're going to interview them at some point.
We will.
Their campaign, they're like, right, okay, this is what we want to look like. Where's it going to go? And then they kept asking themselves questions. Took a whole day between three
Well,
of them.
it's so hard. Like
Yeah.
they already have a world, and they're still fleshing it out hugely. But I think, thinking about how weird episodic niche tropes work in your
Yeah.
system really help. But make a world building video.
You should
so-
absolutely.
In a weird way, I've got another book
so
here
I can
called
watch it and then reference
I'll
it
show
in
you
my
this one.
video.
Yes. So there's this book as well, which is a lot of people mention this on my Frostgrave video and other videos since. So I'm not going to go too much in this one at the moment, but it's got another element of world building in it as well. And what I'm thinking of doing is using the same place, because a lot of the way you build the world in here, you pick like different.
What's that? 5 leagues from the borderlands.
Yes, there's a sci-fi one called 5 Parsecs from Home, so it's kind of like a very similar rule system. It feels somewhere between.
Who's it
like,
by?
It's a soul. It is
Modiphius,
by
isn't it?
Modiphius.
Yeah.
By Modiphius. It's solo and cooperative, but it has elements of a role-playing game to it as well. But what I like about this is you have to work out who your enemies are, what the threats are, and you have like 2 threats within and 1 threat without.
Oh, I remember you saying.
Yeah, so
it's
what
cool.
I'm going to do is use the same place, but now what this rule system's given me is like what's going off within the realm and who's attacking it from without. And then I can use both game systems. So if I want mass battles, I can use Oathmark. And then if I want to do like some cool little skirmishes where you wander to the High Fells to recruit a dragon.
Great decision.
Or to slay the dragon.
I've never seen a game that does the thing that I want, where I can play a mass battle game, and then I can also take those same characters / minis and also play my skirmish game.
Yeah.
Like
Doesn't
Warcry?
yeah?
No, so Warcry, kind of, you can have like that unit is just part of a larger army. But
Do you just mean like I've got my orc army, that's my favorite orc boy, here's a war boss, here's 2 other dudes, I want to play a skirmish game with those?
not really. I feel like that
I
there's
wanna do that.
like I feel like that there's some, maybe there is, and people are going to correct me in the comments.
Let us know in the comments
Yeah,
section.
but I feel like that there's like it's either or, right?
Yeah,
It's either the mass battle game or it's the skirmish game.
I mean, the closest you can get is like Middle-earth strategy battle game, but when it gets so
That's true.
large, it gets clunky from mass battle point. Because
Okay.
me and Duncan and Neil and the guys in the store, we used to like use movement trays and put like 40 men of Gondor on a movement tray, and then he'll have like 40 men of Rohan, and we'll fight against like Neil's orcs or Eastlings or whatever. But
Shout out to Neil, worst teas in the UK.
Yes,
Worst teas.
worst teas.
Worst teas.
Yeah, don't ever get him to make you one. But what was really fun, it felt like Total War, because when you had these blocks connect, then you can go into the level of like real
Individual-
nitty-gritty melee.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's still that skirmish game to heart, so you
Yeah.
can still do like a little bunch of adventurers going off and doing stuff. So that's probably the closest you can get to, but it gets clunkier the bigger
Yeah, it makes sense.
the models get. So, but yes, you're right. I don't think there is any games out there.
There's
No,
a
'cause
new,
this
there's
is
a
two
new
separate games.
There's a new
here.
skirmish game just come out. I don't know if you've seen.
Oh, you
called-
were looking at it this morning,
Yeah,
weren't
War
you?
Crow. It's by Corvus Belli, so the people that make
I've got a
Infinity,
set
I
of
think.
those,
Have
yeah.
you?
Yeah,
Small
I'll bring them
world.
over. I'll have to
Yeah,
bring them over
please,
so you
because
can
Rob
see.
was looking at all like and it sounded cool. Like, I was just listening to you. And
Yeah,
it
it
sounded
was
cool.
Yeah, it was cool. The minis look really nice. I think someone in the chat made a point. They were like, okay, a fantasy game with humans versus orcs. Why should I care? And I think that's
Why is it different?
Yeah, why is it different? Why should I care? And I think that's a really fair thing. Like the world building thing from that book, the Oathmark thing, is super
But
cool.
sometimes it can just be cool.
Yeah,
like
I-
sometimes you can
One
do.
of the
Let me.
dudes. I
Can I see?
painted one of the
Oh,
dudes.
you painted one of the Black
Oh,
Legion.
he looks
With a
very
Black
much like
Legion,
your
yeah.
dudes.
Yeah, it looks like a
Yeah,
Venturian
Venturian
Noble.
Noble, he
I
does.
tore copy that. I could have schemed when I painted this guy.
Oh, there you go. That's
But-
cool. But yeah,
but
sometimes
nice.
sometimes if you're doing orcs versus humans and it's freaking cool, then you can riff on that.
Listen, and I'm freaking into it.
Just like anything to
Yeah.
do with like Green Knights or Knights in general, anything that looks vaguely medieval or Bretonnian, I'm like, cool, I'm there.
Just for my stands in the old world community, hashtag ban the Green Knight, but we'll continue on.
Oh yeah,
mean,
we're
I'm
going to get
doing,
round to that,
a
Rob.
sponsor,
Don't worry.
well, working on a video at the minute with some sponsors called Enviro Games, and they do
cool.
environment. They're aiming to make it as sustainable as possible. It's an environmentally friendly game.
Wow.
So everything's. I think I showed it once a while back. It's like in a cardboard box, all the models in like little
I
cardboard
think you mentioned
sleeves.
that it was,
It's like really like well thought out from a recycled point.
Sustainability.
Sustainability. But the initial box set is dwarfs versus like these little gnome goblin guys. So it's that same kind of thing, like humans versus orcs or dwarfs versus orcs.
Like
It's not
Game
that
of Thrones is nothing revolutionary, but like if you can do it well, you can do it well.
I think it's about doing it well, but
Yeah.
ultimately, like, and we all know this, it's the hook. I'm sure it's an amazing game. I've not played it yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure the universe is beautiful and it's well thought out and brilliant. But you need to hook me, and it's a really good point. It's like I see some really nice orc sculpts and human sculpts.
Yeah.
Where's my hook? What
What's
is
the
it?
catch? The orcs are the good guys in this.
Yeah,
episode,
or
right?
something.
This is what I want, though. I mean, this is
World
what I
building.
like about Oathmark is I want orcs with humans versus. So if you
That's
take,
cool. That's a hook.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that.
That's a hook.
That's
so
a
if you
hook.
take the World of Warcraft movie,
Yeah.
you've got like the
I like
orcs
that movie.
I like that movie.
I like that movie.
I really like
Good,
that
we all
movie.
like that movie.
So the orcs that don't have the green skin tend to be a little bit less dickheads.
fanatical.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're almost like start to almost build relations. Well, it looks like they're going to ally with the good guys.
Yeah.
And I want that to continue in my head. So I want that to happen in my setting, that those orcs are.
They're almost like the barbarian class.
Yes, yeah. And it's nice to have like some orcs that have like a different sense of what's right and what's wrong. Morality, thank you. And then you got some orcs that are just like maniacal, warmongering thugs that just want to murder and burn everything. Like some tribes back in, when the Romans were around, some were just a bit more chilled out, some were a bit more like
Those dark goths.
those Visigoths, the Huns.
I'm not here for this Roman propaganda. That's what I'm not. We had cities in Europe, I'll have you know.
Cities.
Yeah, they
of
would have.
music
If you
and
listen to the Romans, you'll have us think that we're all in loincloths, just rampaging around the
Sounds quite
forest.
good, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
Stolas if you're a lassie.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
So what's your next vid, Peach?
So-
6 of them.
6 of them. So I am doing the
Crikey.
Enviro Games one because I really like the dwarfs. I've struggled to paint the gnome.
I can help you with that.
Well, I know you'd love those. And I think it's because I'm not used to painting, because the dwarfs are dwarf-esque size and the gnomes are a lot smaller and slighter. In fact,
Ooh,
the
no,
one
thank
I'm
you.
painting
That must
looks,
be really small.
it's not huge, but it's not small. I think my eyes are
it's not like
as
epic
well.
scale, yeah.
So I need to get some glasses or like
I
some
was saying
special
we
thing.
all need to go for an
Louise
eye
does.
test. Yeah.
I do.
Oh,
I
do I?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
couldn't read the number plate on our taxi this morning.
Didn't need
You
to.
were trying to get into a random car, Rob.
I've definitely got to the point where I'm struggling to paint like makeup on eyes and stuff like that.
But you love painting
do love
makeup.
doing
Okay,
that,
yeah, we're
yeah.
all gonna get
Yeah.
Juggz
All right,
next week.
Juggz,
Getting
to
our
the
eyes
optician.
tested.
So I was talking to Scott. Shout out to Scott Barnett.
Scott?
He was saying it's not anything to do with your eyes getting worse. It's like when you're younger, your pupils expand more, so you can take more light in. And you see, it's like a telescope.
Do they get tired? Because
You
my
get tired.
feel
Your eyes get tired. So
Yeah.
you're letting less light in. So your focus is. You have to
Blurry.
strain more to do the focus. You can only do that for so long.
I think we should all get
experts
our
in
eyes
the comments do tell me where I'm wrong on that. But Scott was basically saying like it's just an age thing. It's not like your eyes are getting worse. You still have 20/20 vision.
Yeah.
But you just like your
Straining a bit
focus.
more.
That's why jewelers, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a jeweler's, they've all got those special glasses because
Yeah.
they're doing really microscopic details. It's like they need those to do that.
I honestly just thought that was to look cool.
Yeah, well, also see 4
Shout
seconds
out
into the future.
to Andy Core in Forge World, who's painted miniatures for years and years. And then one day he got glasses and he was like, I'm really good at painting, actually. And like you'd compare his paint jobs. Like he was a good painter before, but as soon as he got glasses, it's like he instantly gained 10 years of painting experience
I do
in a
wonder.
day. And he was like,
I
I'm
think I'm
actually
gonna
quite
get
good at
some
this.
People right now watching this podcast being like, maybe I should just get a fucking
Yeah.
We're
optician.
all getting our
Yeah.
glasses. So this episode sponsored by Specsavers. Thank you.
Thanks,
I've actually, when I
Specsavers.
think about it, when I'm painting so my camera's here,
Yeah.
and I have to paint here,
Yeah.
so I'm quite far away from the model. So, but also I'm painting in a way that it's meant to from a speed point of view anyway. It's not meant to be like, so if I was trying to do the
don't
stuff
point
that
me when
you
I'm
do,
yawning.
so if I'm trying to do the stuff that Louise does, I'd really struggle from that kind
I
of
couldn't
distance.
paint that far away.
Yeah.
I remember in masterclass them saying, you should paint that far away. And I was like, I physically can't.
Yeah, yeah.
So then we ended up resting the camera like on my head.
Yeah, we
while
spent
I
a
paint.
long time working out the angle for Louise's
It's important.
camera.
It's important. I have a very specific painting angle, I think.
Yeah.
Because I
It
do
works,
do
though.
that. I do
It works, though.
do that high detail stuff.
But
But yeah, lots of videos.
Yeah, big fan of Enviro games, like the whole concept of what they're trying to do. The box set is just like dwarfs and gnomes. I think they're gnomes, but they plan to do more.
The
So
halflings.
they've sponsored me to do a video, and I've enjoyed painting the dwarf more than the gnome, and I think that's more because you're not going to like every race.
No, you're not.
It sounds racist, I know.
Wow,
but I
Peach.
love orcs from a visual, from a story, and from a sculpture point of view. I just don't enjoy painting them.
That's fair.
I remember you saying that.
I don't know
Because
why.
you're not a fan of greenskins.
I struggled with greens.
Yeah.
I think it was the 85 Savage Orc Ball Boys on
It's like my
boars
favourite
and the
kit.
150 Savage Orcs on foot.
Honestly,
that.
that'll do it. So like, what's a fantasy race that I'm just not particularly interested in? Fire Slayers, like big fiery naked dwarves. Meh.
That's what I'm all about.
Yeah, love that.
You
It's
love
great
it.
energy.
Anyway, should we ask Rob what he's been doing?
Yes, what have you been doing, Rob?
Oh, thank you. So we've been moving house, and that
Yes,
feels like that's
yes.
been quite a bit. Probably been still making videos. There's been lots of kind of good chats recently. Warriors of Chaos came out, I think it was a little bit ago. The first Skaven book came out for
How's
Age
that?
of Sigmar. It was unfortunately, unfortunately, I say fortunately, it was a copy and paste of like the index that came out at the launch of the edition. But
By
then
copy
also
and paste, you mean the rules were the same?
identical, with the exception
Okay.
of like 3 very small minor changes.
Okay.
Literally, like, a character got a special, like a weapon range reduced or something.
Go Queen.
But like 10 weeks after the game coming out, do I really want it to grossly change?
Yeah.
But I
yeah,
do.
that's a good point.
But I really love what they haven't done is they've done the old world thing, where with old world, all
What,
the
in
rules
Age of Sigmar, they've done the old world thing?
no, in Age of Sigmar, they haven't done the old world thing.
Oh, they haven't.
So Age of Sigmar and Old World have had the same release this year, where basically all of the rules have come out for all of the armies at the same time. So
Yeah, that was a nightmare for you.
it was a nightmare for me. But then with Old World, they were like, cool, we just released Bretonnians, but also here's 2 other ways to play Bretonnians and some special characters. And then, they've done that with all the following on releases. So you can still play the quote unquote normal army, these others. With Skaven for Age of Sigmar, which is the first book they've released, they haven't done that. They've just been like, here's the same thing. There has been the idea, or the concept of a plan of doing it.
I got the concept of a plan. I'm not Sigmar yet.
I'm not the president of Sigmar yet. But the concept was there's these things called armies of renown, where basically you get rid of all your normal army rules, and and it's basically the same as kind of the old world thing, where you can play as different armies of infamy, but they're really bad. In fact, they're more restrictive. They don't add anything. They aren't overly thematic. And it's like,
Can you give me an example of one?
Yeah, so Rob's thing where it's thematic is like, well, you explain.
Yeah, okay. Well, like, as an example, so like when you write a normal army list for Skaven, you get to choose one of like the endless spell manifestation laws that you choose. You could choose a Skaven one, which is cool, or you could choose like one of like 4 or 5 generic ones. But when you run the Regiment of Renown, or another example, when you have a spell law, you've got 3 different spells you can choose from. But with the Armies of Renown, if you're playing the Skaven one, there's one that's like about Master Molder and the ability to like blow up your own creations, and you're like, that's kind of cool,
Pretty Skaven-y.
pretty Skaven-y. But you only get to choose 1 spell, not 3 spells.
Oh, okay.
You only get to choose 1 manifestation from a normally in manifestation law, you get all of the manifestations, but you get 1 from all of them. And you're like, this is less choice. Like you've kind of made a bit of an effort, but like it's quite clearly very restrictive. So it feels like people don't want you to play them. So people have kind of been like up and down about how they feel about it. But obviously with it just coming out, like you really want it to be a big change, but they've missed the opportunity to expand how it all works.
Yeah.
So then, and you're like, that's probably it for Skaven for 3 years minimum. Like based on how the next edition cycle goes, might be it for Skaven for the next 5 years. So, that opportunity for a load of creativity and excitement and world building is
It's been skipped.
it's a bit thin.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, it's a bit thin. And I think few people feel that, and people have expressed that, while also being like, I'm excited about playing Skaven. It's an odd feeling to have, your favorite, whatever your favorite movie franchise is, the next movie comes out and it's, as a good example, one of my favorite movies was Twister. Yeah?
Oh no!
Great movie.
Not-
With Hudson in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Great movie.
I must have been like 5 when Twister.
No
came
way,
out.
you can't.
What?
Maybe
What?
you were
What?
actually.
Jake,
No,
what?
you're
What?
right.
Wait, when was Twister released?
Because I was like in my teens and you're much
oh
younger than me.
no! Wait.
Anyway, Twister,
Twister, good film.
good film. We all agree.
I was 4.
Okay, or Independence Day.
Independence Day, also classic.
No, but I feel like Twister's a really good example because, Twister, I may have been like 4 when it came out, but it felt like a horror movie where the villain was the Twister. Like it
evil,
was
sentient Twister.
It
Yeah.
was scary, right?
Yeah,
It was a scary movie. I felt, apart from the cow, that was funny.
Yeah, the cat was great. The cat was great.
But,
then
yeah.
we watched Twisters 2. Twisters.
I've not seen Twisters.
You
let me
are
tell you, Peachy, you're doing all right. Just watch Twister again.
If you think watch Twister twice.
Just get to the
Yeah.
end of Twister and be like, I know what's a good movie to follow up this movie, and just watch Twister.
Yeah.
Are you like that with Independence Day then?
No, unfortunately.
So Independence Day, the Redux, whatever it's called, figure out what it's called, the second one.
Yeah.
Independence Days.
I got really excited when they travel to Africa in those UN vehicles, what they've got.
Yeah.
And they go to like the crashed spaceship and there's all these like totems of all the dead aliens
That's
they've
cool,
killed.
isn't
And I was
it?
like, this feels like XCOM.
Yeah.
This is cool.
Yeah.
They're now one of the tribesmen is wearing a skull of an alien.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah,
This
that
is
was cool,
mega.
yeah.
More of now we made it weird.
Yeah, now we made it
We
really
made it weird.
uncomfortable. Yeah. So that's kind of my point with and I expressed this a couple of weeks ago. I'm an Age of Sigmar fan. Like I'm a fan. So you really can't give me too much content. Like,
do you mean like lore and cool stuff?
lore and cool stuff
Rules
and
that
like
reflect
weights?
the army, great miniatures.
Yeah,
all
like,
that
and
good
Skaven
stuff.
is mega iconic. There are 5 different clans in Skaven, so you could have an army list or style for each.
What are the different Skaven clans?
So you've got Verminus, which is just like the
Green.
basic bods.
Yeah.
Scryer, which is all the machination and like
are they
crazy.
the reds? I can't remember.
Verminus are red. They're the ones who like build all like the warp lightning cannons and crazy machines and stuff.
think they were
Then you've got
okay, yeah.
Pestilence, which is obviously disease and all of that
What
stuff.
are the blue ones?
You've got Eshin,
I think they're
who are
Grey?
the assassin rats.
Yeah.
Then you got Mulder, who are the freaks who like stick a rat's ass on a rat's ass. You'd love it.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
Actually.
You'd love it.
Human
Human
centipede,
centipede
but rats.
Yeah.
Yay! There
And
we
then
go.
you got the Master Clan, who are like the leader, Greyseer, sort of like, things.
I didn't know.
Oh,
I
they
didn't
got
know
rid
the
of
clan.
loads then, because in Warhammer they used to have all like Clan Scurvy, which I made, which is like the pirates.
You
Clan-
made them.
Yeah.
That's so
Clan
cool.
Wow, yeah, they got rid of that. I didn't even know that existed.
Oh,
Pirate
made a
fucking
whole
Skaven.
lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm not. I right to be really clear. I'm not dogging Age of Sigmar because currently the game is a really fun game that's super fun to play. Like that's not the
You
situation.
said that. I want to make it very clear that when the new edition came out, you're like, I think this is the best edition yet.
It's the best edition of Age of Sigmar I've played so far.
There you go.
But also it might be the thinnest,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your opportunity to release a book is like your opportunity for like all of the new cool content. And if anything, this is your opportunity to be like, and I'm sure you both know this. This is your narrative hook, right? Like, wait, you're telling me I can run an all Molder army? Then I'm in.
Yeah,
because you might not be bothered about the others.
I was gagging for that with snake bites.
A good example.
They released the beast snaggers, and I was
Yes.
like, close enough, because I think they were. But yeah, I was like, if you were like, oh, we're having this new release, and it's all your favorite clan, which has never been talked about barely, and we're flash, I would be like, oh my gosh, all my money.
Exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, so it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to be a fan and then just be like,
And get nothing.
and get nothing.
Yeah.
But also you're like this
But
is your
things are
opportunity.
going well.
This is your opportunity to get something. You don't get anything. And then also today, yesterday, they've now locked all of the rules behind a paywall of Warhammer Plus, and you need a code and these kind of ongoing things where rules should be free. And because it ultimately, like Louise has just said, it makes you buy models.
Yes, yeah,
you see the rules or you see the law.
I like having books. I want to make it very clear. I like having physical books, and Rob's not saying let's never make books and
No.
everything
Never saying
should
that.
be free.
Yeah.
Because, I think one of the issues is a lot of people watch your show and they'll be like, Rob's just being a mad communist, because you're just like everything should be free. Rob's not saying everything should be free.
Nope.
He's saying that it would be cool if a miniature company who they sell miniatures, and the point is that you play the game, is they make their rules free or at least more readily available while still having books full of lore and gaming and
But-
miniature
take
content
Star Wars
on the
Legion,
side.
Star Wars Shatterpoint,
Yeah.
all those
Yeah.
rules are free.
Yeah,
And
and
the
they're
argument-
not communists. In fact,
Yeah.
they're Disney.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like,
Get ready.
You went there.
But an important point to note is that like it's actually like it's the most capitalist take.
It is.
Because like if you
You
more
you
people
said the best thing today. You were like, imagine if you could browse the rules on your toilet and then just build a list from that. You'd be
Yeah.
buying miniatures left,
Yeah,
right, and
yeah,
center.
the craziest thing
I'd be
like,
so stingy to buy miniatures if I had no idea how they played.
yeah, exactly. And the craziest thing is exactly like with the Titus model. They're so bad at making money. Like they're like we could have the Titus model available at launch, and they didn't because they're bad at it. But what they will do is make it so you have to pay for an app to see a rule. Like that's what they'll do because that's like already a way to like just get a bit of cash off you.
What was the name of the guy that directed Lord of the Rings?
Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson one time called Games Workshop and yelled at them and said, "Do you hate money?" Do you know this story? Yeah, because they said they weren't going to make a Smaug miniature or something. It was something like
yeah.
that. Like Peter Jackson used to be in extremely good terms with Games Workshop and Warhammer. He would like come around because he's friends with the Perry twins and they would all hang out and stuff. And then I think Peter Jackson was very much like, I think this is before The Hobbit came out, so Smaug wasn't in the movies or anything. And they were like, he was like, okay, the most iconic character, it's Smaug. It's a big fuck off dragon. We're definitely going to make that, right? And they were like, well, it's not really part of the IP that we're starting. And he called them and I think he yelled at them and he said, "Why do you hate money?" And then I think he basically was like, "Fuck these guys." And he's never spoken to them again.
Yeah, it doesn't
That's
surprise me.
basically most people's response in dealing with them, which is quite funny.
I think I'd cry if Peter Jackson yelled at me though.
Yeah, I would cry.
Like over
You
Smaug.
question your choices. But the what was I saying?
You were saying that the ability to just browse the
Yeah, like and the worst thing is the app, which is a new app. The old app, when you would be looking at, let's say, Clan Rats, there would be a link at the top. You click the button, and it would take you to the
Where
web
you can
store,
buy-
and it would take you to the Clan Rats page. So you could be like, "I'm going to buy Clan Rats," right? But that doesn't even, like they're so bad at it.
Yeah.
like it's just like it's just miserly and also bad at business.
I don't understand the app. I mean, I know there's a lot of work. I am not technical enough to create an app, but there are so many free apps out there. Yak Tribe that do Necromunda, right? So well done, so constantly updated. It is so intuitive. I love making Necromunda gangs just using that app.
Yeah,
and yet you get like the Warcry one and the Kill Team one.
There's a
which
phrase
is just...
for this, which is like a smooth user experience or something, which it means that like from someone being interested in buying something to them checking out is the smoothest path physically possible.
and the less clicks possible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Amazon, there's like one click buy. You get a nice big picture of the thing, you can look at a review, and then you buy it.
Yeah,
right? And
my point is it's like you get people doing it in their own time that make better apps than a multi-million.
I mean, we could talk about the web.
website.
We could talk about the website.
Yeah.
So
right about the smooth.
Yeah.
the app, but like I've kind of covered that today, and it's whatever. Like corporations will cooperate, right? So like, who cares?
Corporations will cooperate.
Yeah, they will.
not cooperate.
No,
If
not
you
at
know
all.
what I mean.
But the really
Sponsored by
so
Bugmans.
we've been making I've been making videos about various game stuff, but the bit that's probably quite exciting is that we've been like printing. I've been working on Louise's Goblin to make sure it's ready to go.
From working in the Goblin Mines.
Working in the Goblin Mines, so I'll be back in there soon. But we've also been working on our first, so like this is me and Tom working on our first like terrain set,
Yes.
which is
It's
super exciting.
exciting.
Which is actually behind you, Peach.
I
Like,
can't believe I didn't even notice.
yeah,
Can't see it.
you can't see it; it's all
gosh.
blocked out.
Yeah.
But
Look at it off camera.
Oh, I love the
you
tents.
could look at-
Oh, it's like the cannon crew.
There you go.
Just to let you know,
It's-
Barry, the cannon crew man.
Yeah.
yeah, not that in any way it's connected because it's a
Uh,
Humans of the Realm board.
Humans
Ali-
of the Realm.
Ali Morrison may have been part of the team that made that figure.
Oh,
I thought I'd say that.
Tell him I love him. Tell him I love him.
He said,
we tell
just
him
to let
every
you know,
day.
Barry, I may have been part of the team that made that.
Oh
that
my
guy.
god, that's
It was
so
a
exciting.
pleasure to be part of the
The
team.
team who
Me
built
Thank you,
it.
Ali.
Thank
So
you,
it's
Ali.
quite fun
This
actually
is so
because
good.
it's been a
This is
really
so good.
interesting like technical challenge because like from a tournament perspective, there's this. Have you ever seen a modern game of 40k? Looks like Ass Bandits. Yeah. right? It does.
How dare
not-
you say that about Ass Bandits?
Oh, Ass Bandits are the best, by the
Yeah.
way. Shout out to all my Ass Bandit fans out there.
Shout out to all of my Ass Bandits.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
You're an Ass Bandit.
I'm an ass bandit,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it looks terrible, basically.
What do you mean? What do you
A
mean?
modern game 40k is just like some polystyrene L's, and it looks like.
Oh, do
it
you
looks,
mean the
And
terrain?
it's symmetrical.
terrain?
As well,
The
isn't
terrain,
it?
yeah, terrain. Looks atrocious.
Member foam boards.
Yeah, so what we've been trying to do is like what is terrain that works both from a gaming perspective, as in like mechanically works, shapes and
So
stuff.
an L-shaped bit of terrain is useful, but however looks kind of
Like-
always looks formulaic.
Yeah, and a bit rubbish. Although obviously this doesn't have to be 40k, and so this is slightly different. And then also how do we theme it as well? And then I think we've got that. We've only got one forest left to do, and then the entire range is done.
You know what's
Amazing.
going to come out that forest?
What's it?
Green Knight.
Yeah, yes,
Oh,
true.
yes. Is this
Yeah.
designed by Tom?
Design by Tom, yeah.
It's
Designed
so
by
good.
Tom.
So I love tents. I love little encampments. So this gives me joy.
Well, so actually, I want to thank you a lot, actually, because you were really handy. Louise, is the flat circle bit back there or not?
circle.
Yeah, I'll go grab it.
Okay, because you gave us some really good feedback because
Did
you
I?
were like, how can I play Mordheim on this? And I was like, oh, thanks, Louise. Because I was like, that is a really good point. So for our old world terrain, what we have is we have a forest with the trees stuck in,
Yeah.
and then we have a bit of mat. Like we have a bit of mat and we take it off the mat. And
Is
it's
that
the
what you
same.
meant?
Yes, perfect. And it's the same shape as the forest. You can show that off on camera if you want.
So what's going to happen
Yeah.
is you're playing a game.
Yeah.
Pop it down, pop it down.
I'll pop it down.
So you're playing a game and you're approaching this bit of terrain.
Yeah.
It's on, like,
Yeah,
if it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
forest, I need to play it, but I don't want to, like, stick a miniature in the woods. Pop it off, play your game. When you're all done, pop it
Stick it back on.
Amazing.
Yeah. But also what's really fun
Sorry for
is...
taking it away from you.
What's also really fun is because we're doing it like with pegs or magnets.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to then have the piece of terrain which you'd put onto you, because it's like a plastic base, show it off if you want
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
Like,
give
it's
it a
like,
little showsy. It's like a wee hill.
yeah, it's like a wee hill. So it's like a plastic base, but then perfect. But then if you want to just, do your
love it.
Mordheim game, Peach,
Yeah.
or you want to do your skirmish game, just take them off them.
Yeah.
And then just build it up how you want it.
Yeah.
So that was your feedback. So thanks.
Oh.
I can't take credit for that, but I'm glad.
Designed
Well, no, I'm not
by
quite-
gamers.
Huh?
For gamers.
For gamers. This is sponsored by.
Bugmans. Quench
Cut.
your dwarven hunger.
But there has
is
been some
great.
technical
So
challenge.
good.
There have been some technical challenges. There's some bits that are like hard to print, and FDM is kind of oddly harder to design for.
Okay.
Like you have to be a little bit. It's not quite as forgiving as resin.
Yeah.
So that's been quite fun, and then just like finalizing the pieces, saying I think this bit needs to be a bit stronger. Maybe this bit's a bit.
Stylistically, Tom's smashed it though.
Yeah, it's
He's
really good.
such a good creative. He always says like, "Oh, I can't envision things in my head," and then envisions perfect things in his head.
Yeah, it's
I
really
love
good.
this.
It's
Yeah,
really
it's
good.
great, isn't it? It's very you.
Yes.
I
There's
feel.
you coded.
It's
Yeah.
me coding.
And there's
indeed.
also some scatter terrain as well, which I'll show you later.
Yeah.
So we've been working on that, which has been really fun.
Like once this is painted with the little bunting and like Bretonian like
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like colors.
mean-
Oh, it's gonna be so cute.
It's just tents. You don't see enough of them, and I think they're really good for set dressing when you're doing like when I do my photography. So I managed to get some set little tents when I do like the sharp campaigns. But I want to do similar things when I do a battle report. When I do like cool photography, I want to have like my guys in the encampment round a fire, talking about the mission they're going to go on.
Yeah.
And just no one does them.
Yeah, well there you go.
Oh, you do.
Yeah, well, that's what
What,
we
you
said
want
as well.
one?
Like, it's been really fun. A bit like with your world building. It's like, what does the world look like?
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? I've just 3D printed and started painting up a Bretonian board for my old world events.
Nice.
And it's really cool because it's like, there wouldn't be a battle between orcs and Bretonians in the middle of like a Bretonian town. It'd be way too cramped.
Yeah,
Well, they would do, but it would look a lot
It
different
wouldn't
too.
be the battle that you're playing out on the same scale as over there. It would be a weird little skirmish fitting through the alleys game.
100%.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, what gives you the idea that you're playing in a location,
Yeah.
but also feels like
So I liked your
it would
full
work.
tilt thing where it's like if it's still in the Bretonian kind of like capital,
Yeah.
but you have that field.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have the
yeah.
scattered terrain and the big open spaces and stuff, and that's really smart.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
it's just been really fun thinking those through. So I've been doing a couple of those, but we're close to. That's taken about a year for me and Tom to like get
It has.
through.
It's taken all year. I
Yeah,
would
it's
say
taken-
up until now.
Yeah, it's taken a long time, just because other
worth
projects
it.
have come up.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm going to check out the stuff behind, but yeah,
Mm-hmm,
I love. Have you done like 2 versions of the tent?
There's another version of the tent. There's like a
so.
triangle version somewhere. It's not back there, Louise. I think it's somewhere
Yeah,
else.
I'll have a look.
And then there's been a couple of bits where you're like, I don't think that works, and going back. But it's been really fun as a process. But is like with a lot of the 3D printing stuff. Like, and I'd love to have. Do you know who I'd love to have on a guest? Is like Alex from Arc World.
Oh, he's so nice.
He's lovely because he also is like kind of like done all of that, which I think
he's
is
asked. I think I feel like we've literally either talked about it, he's asked to come on, or I've asked him to come on.
Yeah, I think we should just ask him to come on. But like, he's also
legitimately,
someone who like
yesterday.
world builds.
Nice.
Like,
And he has one of my favorite styles of miniature because it's very cartoony.
yeah, it's very cartoony.
I adore Alex's stuff. I would love. Yeah. Let's ask Alex.
Yeah, it's really fun
Yay.
seeing like someone design a world, and it's also fun like being part of a process of creating stuff inside a world you really love.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
like that's really fun.
Yeah.
Because I do love the like.
And having a very different style to Games Workshop as well is very interesting. Like it's toony. It's not grim, dark, realistic miniature.
You know what it is? You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of 90s Workshop.
Oh, it's fun and
Yeah.
cute.
You know, the red and green period.
Yeah,
Yes.
this is why I'm like, I can see this being
Yeah,
very
yeah.
brightly.
I like the
and
buildings.
it feels like an old white dwarf.
That
You know
Wizard's
what I
Tower that
mean?
you passed on to me, that
Yeah.
reminds me of a lot of the old sets that Dave Andrews used to make, using like cardboard cereal boxes to make all the roof tiles and stuff.
I'm just in the middle of
I saw a
printing.
tutorial on how to like weather stone using a curled up tinfoil ball.
Oh, well,
And
you
I'm
roll
like,
it around to make all the dents and
and
stuff.
it's really cool.
That's
Yeah.
really fun.
Yeah.
I'm just in the middle of printing 3D printing, which I'm going to show you this amazing tavern from Tired World Studio.
You were telling me about
Who've
this.
just got they've actually just got the second, I think the third Kickstarter has gone up, if anyone is interested in kind of like human like terrain. But what's good, like with the Wizard's Tower that we printed out, like which I gave to you,
Why don't you
Peach.
show and go grab it so I can show people?
Yeah, if you want to. But like, yeah, you're on a big grab. We're all leaving the set today. This has been a bit of, Louise is over this side now. Who knows?
She's in the shadows. She's Eshin.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you've glued it all. Oh,
Well,
I've kept
I glued
myself.
it and started to paint it.
Oh,
I don't know if people can see or
I can
can't
see it. They can see it.
It's
Scoot
so
your butt.
big.
Yeah, we can
that
see.
is one.
But
massive
what's cool
tower,
about
Rob.
it is
So
like,
cool.
what's cool about it is, yeah, it's super fun. Is that feels way more kind of what's the right word?
Sturdy.
Yeah, because I spoke to the guys at in the terrain studio at Workshop,
Yeah.
and they were like, we can't make terrain like that because it's just too much plastic to ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they can't do it. So it's fun. I feel like we're finally at the stage now
crazy.
where, because my favorite terrain ever is Tabletop World. Ever.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God. To own a board of that, I would cry beautiful tears. But
Giant man.
I feel like you can start,
Tears.
yeah, just a big man with tears. But
Big
I feel
man.
like
tears in your eyes.
we're finally getting there with printers.
This
I
is
feel like
beautiful.
printers are finally getting there.
So I was looking at this. I've got my next door neighbor, John. Shout out to Johnny. He'll never watch this channel.
Aw.
He makes his own 3D printers. He's been doing it for years.
Oh wow.
He's really into FDM at the moment. And I was talking about my resin printer I've got, which I still need to do a video on. And I went and grabbed this. And he was like, what does he use? What's the material? So I need to find out the materials that he uses. Because I know it's FDM printer, but he was just like, this is so good.
It's so good.
Because his job is like around those kind of things. And he used to build stuff for a company he worked with. And then he literally make his own printers. But now he's obviously bought them in, like bamboos as well. But yeah, he was like well impressed by the printing
Quality.
Can we talk about
Yes,
how
quality.
good Rob is at dry brushing now?
I was going to
Literally,
compliment
right?
that. Yeah, I still need to finish bits on mine, but I
I've
did
never
multiple
seen-
sprays on mine. So I built like the top bit's been spray brown. This section's been spray brown. That's all been
I
sprayed.
watched that in your video. You were
Yes,
talking about
yeah,
spraying different
multiple
bits.
sprays.
But I've never seen such a smooth and
It's
good.
good.
He is very good at dry brushing
Yeah.
now.
It's very nice of you. I don't know if you know, but if you just dry brush grey and white over black and then add some contrast,
Honestly,
that is painting.
the wood is
Slippy
Amazing.
chippy, I
Slippy
call it.
chippy.
Slippy
Not-
chippy.
not
look
slappy
how good
sloppy.
the wood looks.
I don't know, the wood looks great.
It
All
does
right.
look so good.
In the interest of time,
Yes.
because we have gone on very long and I apologise.
It's okay. It's been nice to catch up with everyone.
Good. Then should we talk about PeachCon?
Yes.
We'll do a brief
Yes.
chat about PeachCon.
We will,
We will.
because I just feel the need to talk about it. Let me go in first by saying it was the most wonderful day I've ever experienced.
Wow, Louise, we did meet.
Shut up. You spilt water everywhere on our first day as a test of my endurance to your bullshit. And
Incredible news, though. We
What?
just got to save the date for Owen and Echo's wedding.
our two friends.
I was going to say, who's Owen and Echo?
Oh my god, great name though.
Just
right?
that.
Echo.
That you can see him right there. There you go.
O plus E.
That's
oh my
very
god, that's
cute.
the fanciest
Yeah,
freaking
yeah.
invite ever. Anyway, Owen is one of our very good wargamey friends, and Echo is another one of our good wargamey friends.
Not a dolphin from the 90s.
No.
But she's a friend. She's like a friend of a friend who got kind of like set up with Owen, and then they just instantly fell in love, and now they're getting married.
It was literally one wargamer, so shout out to Noah. Noah was like, met Owen, and Noah was like, you should just marry my friend. You two are perfect.
And then he
Owen
was right.
Owen was like, that feels uncomfortable. And then they met, and then they're now getting married. Yeah.
Match made in
They were
heaven.
100% correct. Yeah, because Noah was literally like, you will probably fall in love with my friend, and she will fall in love with you. And
That's
he was
so
like,
sweet.
shut up. And then they did.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, whenever I spoke the other day about like how wargaming is really good for people's brains.
Yeah.
And Owen was like, yeah, literally found the love of my life because of wargaming. And you're like, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
sweet.
I would have met you if you weren't at G-Dubs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's
And I
true.
would have met you too.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
I probably would have met you.
I don't know,
I feel like I would have watched your
Yeah,
channel.
you two would have been in some sort of maladaptive
Yeah,
class.
we
Yeah.
would have met
Coping
some kind of
seminar.
maladaptive daydreaming forum or something.
So the best day of your life was PeachCon.
Oh, speaking of best days of my
Best
life,
day.
yeah, it was PeachCon. So
That's too kind.
it was
Lies,
it was
deception.
how long ago now? It was like
A couple of weeks. It's nearly a month, I think. Nearly a
Wow.
month.
over to you.
So for those that are new or have not watched it, I wanted to say a big thank you to my patrons who supported me since I left the previous channel and just going out on my own and being brave and
Big
making my
brave
own
boy.
channel.
Big brave
And
boy.
I had a lot of support in the early days, and I wanted to say thank you. I've never wanted to do anything for profit. I just wanted to run an event, put some food on, meet and greet, and say thanks.
Yeah, just give your community somewhere where they can all get together and have a good time.
Yes, yeah. And that was the plan. And it kind of evolved into something a little bit more. And there was like gaming tables.
Well, because it turns out, Peachy, you're very popular and people like you a lot. So
It's
shut
very
up,
kind of you to
shut
say.
up.
It's
It
very kind of
turns
you to
out,
say. It's
it
not true.
turns out.
But yeah, lots of people wanted to help and lots of people wanted to invest in making it a great day. So I had people reach out going, oh, I'd love to bring this game, I'd love to bring that game. I got a little bit stressed because I wasn't entirely sure how much space I could squeeze out, how many tables
It was
I had.
a good amount of room.
It was good. I was disappointed by, and Liz was, by the cleaners not cleaning beforehand because there was crumbs
I
on
would
the tables
never
and
have
on the
noticed in
floor.
a million. And if
but
that's the only thing that
that
went
was
wrong,
the only thing that went wrong. And
literally
it
you're
wasn't even
laughing.
went wrong. It was
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. Like it went so well.
But it was great. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to. I will do it every year. I'm looking forward to doing one next year. I'll try and grow it a bit bigger. Try and get some retail stands in there, so people like to buy things. There's a guy called Tabletop Smithy who made our dice trays.
Oh, he's
I'd like to invite him.
Shout out to Tabletop Smithy. I wish we had one of the dice
Sponsored by Tabletop Smithy.
Yes.
Oh, we had one on our table because Rob's been using them
I've been
for
using
his
them. They're
events.
great.
Yeah. I don't roll dice as much as I used to, so I haven't. But we have the Juggz cups as well.
Well-
The Juggz glasses
Oh,
that I
yes,
made. Yeah,
yes.
so we have those.
Yeah, I got one a while back from ChillCon because I wanted something to when I roll my dice on my battle reports.
Oh, I was going to say ChillCon. ChillCon? Yeah, ChillCon,
Oh,
which
yeah,
is next
ChillCon,
year.
Yes, yeah.
We are
Confirmed for a Rascal Town stall, the second of its kind Rascal Town stall at ChillCon.
and in
And-
addition,
Oh,
we have a live episode of Juggz
do we?
at ChillCon.
At ChillCon.
What?
A live episode.
I could be sick. That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, right?
Oh my god, what do we do?
So you can. So if you would like, if you're a fan of Juggz, well, you can come to ChillCon and you can be in the crowd, and we can do a Q&A.
Yeah.
And you can just
we
ask
could
us.
do like what's that thing? Improv. Give us I don't know.
Give us 3 types
give
of
us
space
3
marine you want us to
types of
be.
space- Whoa, I'm a space marine.
Don't make me do impressions of models looking like.
Oh my god, that was my favorite terrible picture of you that should never be on the
Yes,
internet.
yeah. Me doing an impression of an orc with a wounded arrow, but looked like he's beating himself off.
Oh, wow.
Just having
Yeah.
the best
A
time.
wounded arrow. A wounded arrow.
wounded-
Wounded by an arrow.
Wounded Arrow is a great name for a fantasy pub. Put
Oh,
that
yes.
in your setting.
Oh, yeah, yes, the wounded
Oh,
arrow.
that's so good.
Oh.
You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Shut up.
Wounded arrow.
Yeah, shut up, man.
All right, fine.
And then you have a shot, which is like, I don't know, it's called the arrow, and you always have to have it on your knee.
Oh,
you took an arrow to the knee.
Arrow to the. You have to
Oh.
like bounce up your knee and like take a shot off a stripper's
Yeah.
knee. Anyway,
Yeah.
So PeachCon was good.
PeachCon was great. Loads of people turned up.
Loads of people turned up. Well, how many people was it in the end? Like
I
100 and so.
I didn't do my register particularly well because I was too busy having fun.
Yep.
Fair,
but
fair,
there was
fair.
around somewhere between 130, 140.
Didn't sleep before, didn't sleep after.
Didn't sleep before. I had headaches.
You were so tired when we filmed the episode.
Yeah. And the headaches were because I wanted it to go right. I wanted people to have a good time.
And they did.
And I hope so. And there's been, since doing the video to talk about it, because it felt a little bit like, am am I stroking my own ego here, talking about a thing I did?
Honestly, no.
Because I just wanted to say
you,
it was
you
fun.
did it for your community.
Yes, yeah.
And like, it's just, if people are like, oh, well, it's PeachyCon, it's got his name and it's all about him. It's like, well, you've worked really hard to build not yourself up, but build up a community of like-minded people who are just enjoying hanging out with each other. It's not like everyone's there to worship Peachy. Everyone was there to kind of support you and what you're doing because you've built such a nice
It's like
community.
a wedding. We
It
likened
felt
it
like
to
a wedding. I said that
Yes,
last time.
yeah.
It did feel like a wedding.
Right.
I had a fest named after me.
Raw shit fest, shitty bitch,
Honest
man.
fest.
Shitty little,
Honest con.
little,
I'm not going to tell you about it now. I'm not going to tell either of you fucks about it now. Yeah, like either of you.
little bitch salt fest.
Yeah, a little bit salt
Tough
fest.
to be a guy in the hobby con.
Yeah, that's what it was.
What was it?
No,
Come
no,
on.
no,
we wanna know.
I would like to hear more about it because I'm cautious
What was it
of time.
called?
I'll never tell
Just
you.
tell me.
Okay, it was called Rufio Fest, which was my
Rufio,
DJ name.
yes.
Yeah, Rufest is what it was.
Rufio.
Interestingly, Tom did the art for it.
Why was it a U fest though?
Oh, it was. I just put. I had like it was like a weekend gig fest that we held, and I had like loads of bands on. Interestingly, we had a guy from Workshop, a lead singer of a band. Like it was all like hardcore and punk.
Oh,
It was cool.
do I know him?
Yeah,
Was it Mark Latham?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't know it was that
Part
good.
of
There's
the
a-
Devil's Advocates, was it?
yeah.
Was it Devil's
So,
Advocates?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know them. There's a lot of workshop bands.
There was a lot of Workshop. bands.
Anyway, PeachCon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
PeachCon was. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
don't know
was
what I
really
was saying. I did a video. I wanted to say how much fun I had. I want to say thank you again to you.
The
to you
video-
because you helped as well so much by passing gear on and having this wonderful human film. With
He
the
let me
gimbal.
out the house.
He let you out the house.
No, the video's great. I will say, absolutely go watch the Peachy video on it because it's like, I'm gonna make it sound bad. It's literally like 30 minutes of you being like, thank you so much.
It was a lot of thank yous. It's a
but
shot
it's
game.
lovely.
Take a shot every time you see it. Hear the word thank you.
I would be on the floor because it was so sweet though,
Yeah.
and it
It's
was
nice,
such
it's nice
a
getting all the community people together, though. You
Yeah.
felt the same at the Salute, right?
Oh,
You saw so many people.
I love going to events. Love it. And it was such a nice one because I knew everyone in that room had supported my best friend.
Ah, and
was so
you
nice.
probably knew a lot of them because they were supporters of you too.
Also there was a big crossover with our Patreon.
Yeah,
So like they
it's
didn't want to
great.
just pick one. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice.
That's
actually.
That's adorable. Yeah, I think you should be really proud. It looked
should be.
really wonderful, and everyone's experience was that it was really like just.
It was just well run as well. Like I'm not saying I don't know how, but like
I don't.
Like I've been to a lot of cons where things aren't well run. Like I'm talking about like even Warhammer fans.
I mean,
and stuff,
come on,
and
I
obviously
forgot to
they're
get
bigger.
people's names for the entries for the paint guide.
Yeah, but who needs them?
I had to,
Who needs 'em?
do an
Who needs
announcement
'em?
halfway through the day going, oh, by the way, I'm an idiot.
By the way, I'm dumb. But no, it was great. Like everyone had a great time. There was loads to do. Day felt like it went really fast.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the only thing that went wrong is that there were some crumbs on the carpet before
Crumbs on his
anyone
jacket.
even came in. And
Yes, there were some crumbs. A
yeah,
few crumbs.
no, it was great.
No,
I had a wonderful time and I can't wait for next year.
Yes.
Oh yeah, and we're going to say what the plans for next year.
So I may use the same venue. Other people have suggested other venues that might be cheaper. So means I can spend more on the event.
goods.
The goods.
goods.
The
merch
I've
table
started
was
doing
very
like
good.
pots for PeachCon already on my bank, so I can put money aside to pay for it. Because in my head, it's like the patrons are supporting me, but I'm going to use an amount of that support to
Give back.
to make the event. If retail stands do want to come, like some of the bigger ones, I might have to like charge depending like a space, a slot or whatever.
That's what people do. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
very,
that's
very.
so normal.
That's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
normal.
Yeah, I always feel like weird asking for money of people, but then they're selling their goods.
No,
at the
it's
thing,
absolutely
so-
the most normal thing, and everyone who will have a stall will be like, "Yep, this is business as
Yeah.
usual. No
But
one's going to
Get
expect
into the
it for
head.
free."
Get into the head of like a mayor of a small town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're little market traders.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
there. Get there. Go like
Okay.
go really old. Be like, oh, I'll be 3 doubloons. Yeah, for a
Doubloons.
stall.
It's
Yeah, if you
3
want to trade
balloons.
around your, yeah, I think that'll help you. Like, don't use modern business terms. Get like
Well, in my head,
RP it.
if
Role
if
play
the
it.
venue costs like let's say 500 quid to use on a day,
500 doubloons.
doubloons,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then I want to at least cover that through the traders.
That's absolutely
Using,
that's
the space.
absolutely
Traders doubloons.
Yeah.
so normal.
Yeah.
And then everything else is.
If
like,
you're a trader and you've got some doubloons you'd like to give Peach.
what I'd like to do is like I don't have to do this with Comic Con, but you would talk about the artist corner.
Yeah, Artist Alley.
Artist Alley. I'd like startup companies to not have to pay.
Oh, that's
a
fun.
cute idea. I'm a startup company.
So you
no,
don't
I'm
have to
joking.
pay.
I'm joking.
So like tabletop Smithy, who's like just starting up. and that's
Ruby
just-
would be really
Ruby,
good.
yeah. So like little like ones I think will be
Independent
independence,
companies.
boutique.
We haven't said boutique in forever.
I know.
Boutique.
We're
I
bringing
think
it
it
back.
would be nice for people that want to show off their wares and goods, and they're just starting up to have a space.
That's
That's
a lovely.
adorable.
That's a
For
lovely
free,
thing. Yeah,
so.
because I think they do a similar thing at Comic-Con and even Games Expo. I think if
Yeah.
you're like a first-time trader, it's like either half price or extremely reduced.
Well, PeachCon it's free.
Whoa! Oh, fuck you, Comic-Con, you bitches. Yeah. On that note,
Fuck
what are
you.
you doing before next week? Before next week's Juggz, which we will be recording. What? And before we're
That was
about
a
to
good
record,
song start. I like that.
yeah, before we're about to record the Patreon video, which is coming
what
soon.
are we going to do on the Patreon?
I know. I already know the question, and I'll save it.
What is it?
It will be. How does it feel to go back to Warhammer World?
Oh, you
Having
went to
left.
Warhammer World today. Oh my god, great question. Okay,
Thank you so much.
Okay, well, I just wanted to tease people a little tease. What am I doing this week before next week? So next week I've got a video due out, and it's finally time for me to get my shit together and do the How to Teach Your Kids to Paint Miniatures video, which I'm been excited for, as you probably know if you've listened to this podcast, for weeks to make.
Amazing.
And I need to get some footage off Rachel, because Rachel's the lady that helped us do our documentary that we made. And I have a bunch of videos of me actually teaching kids how to paint, where all the parents signed a little waiver saying they're okay for their children to be on camera.
Amazing.
So that's really good. That makes me feel way better about making that video, is like knowing that everyone in the video is so okay with their kids being out there on TV. So I need to get that footage. We need to call her.
Yep.
Great. But yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Good.
Oh, and also Rascal Town release. Yay.
Peach.
So I've got the Warlord
8 videos.
I've got the Warlord video coming out. I'm gonna do my first Necromunda battle report on Monday.
Oh, shut up.
Yes.
Shut up.
First in the queue.
Yes. It's in the same vein as the Shark one. So it's like talking narrative as opposed to showing all the rules and stuff. And the vibe I've got so far is it's going to be a probably dishonored noble who's the leader.
You would love a Dishonored
And we
noble.
love a dishonored noble. There's
Wait,
gonna
is
be
that
one of
Dishonored noble that I know of?
I'm going to make it up.
Oh, is it a
It
new
might
one?
look like Sean Bean. I don't
No,
know.
I meant, is it going to be connected to Heretic Hunt?
Oh, yeah, it might well be.
Oh!
It might well be. And then I'm going to have.
Exciting.
You might. It might.
Okay.
He will
Well,
be in there. He will be in there.
Spoilers.
But
okay,
yeah, so
okay.
the idea is to have one of each gang as part of his hired crew. So there's the Venators rule, where you can have like a bunch of bounty hunters together. I think it's the Book of Peril. So I'm basically doing a warband based off that. Peachy will be in there. I've got to have Peachy with his stupid voice.
Of course.
And I've decided I'm going to name every episode. So they're all going to be standalone episodes. I'm not going to do like part 1, part 2, part 3. They're all going to be standalone episodes. They're all going to be named after James Bond movies. So I will have Dr. Nomad. I'm going to have the Escher from Where Escher with Love. There'll be the Spyra who loved me.
Oh, I love
the man with the golden bolt gun.
This makes absolutely no sense.
I want to join
apart from
in.
to every person who right now is going, that makes so much sense to me.
If you know James Bond.
Yeah.
I'm literally now looking at. I want to. There must be Doctor No.
There's Dr. So that's Dr. Nomad.
Oh, that's good.
Dr. Nomad.
Yeah.
There's a couple I'm struggling with, like Live and Let Die and stuff like that. But
What's gold? What could Goldfinger be?
gold. So there's Stinger mold. So I'm going to go mold sting.
Mold Stinger.
Mold.
That's funny.
Sorry, I was too loud.
No, that was good. I
So
like
yes,
it.
Creds off forever. Die Another Cycle.
Oh my God, great.
What can From Russia with Love be?
From Russia with Love is Escher
From
with
Escher
Love.
with Love.
From Escher
Oh,
with Love.
it's good. Okay.
That's great.
I could
So
just do
there's
this.
an ex-Escher girlfriend coming along to cause some trouble
Oh, no.
in that episode.
Oh no.
I'm basically
no.
finding the title and then just making the scenario
backwards.
about that. Yeah.
That's
I'm
perfect.
literally. I want to join in right now.
Good. And also in the comments, please join in your ideas for
Yeah,
James
that
Bond
would be
episodes.
great. That would be great.
Thunderball.
Thunderball. Well, I was going to
Thunder
call it something with
Warrior
neck. I don't know.
Underhive ball. Underball.
Munderball.
Munderball. Oh, that's good.
Munderball.
I joined in.
I've got Spirefall.
I mean,
is excellent.
the man with the golden gun could
Bolt
just
gun.
be, yeah.
You got bolt gun.
Oh.
Or auto gun, maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
That's good. Sorry, yeah.
No, it's okay.
Octopussy.
Octo Kitty.
Oh, I hate it.
So we are going to.
Can we not do this for like another 8 hours?
No.
Aw.
We love this
So
kind
we
of
are
game.
going to go.
Well, and then we're going to take a 30-minute break while we come up with.
I just want to sign out and say I
Oh, yeah, can we do our
can't
thanks?
believe that Louise has censuses of her models like I do.
Yeah.
I actually can believe that me and Peachy both have the exact same form of organizing and
on our iPhone notes.
So can I.
I can't believe that you also had it in the iPhone. Honestly, I'm just really happy to be around. Who shall our shout outs be for this week? I had a really good one and I can't remember who it was. I think it was the Necromolds team. Because they sent me the game ages ago and I've been so excited because I'm doing this video which is how to teach your kids to paint, but then I want to do one which is like how to teach your kids to play using Necromolds.
Yes.
And they emailed me just being like, just to make sure that you got everything. And I haven't emailed them back. So I want to just shout them out for being very nice and patient while I do everything else. And for every single company that has ever emailed.
That's
Same.
so okay.
Okay.
Peach, you got a shout outs?
Yes, you too, as always, because you're amazing. And because, you know, I know you stress about like when we don't do episodes and stuff and you get a bit worried.
Rob
and
does.
upset.
I have a nap.
I'm totally fine. The best way to describe it is if we can't do an episode, it just means I get more time for trying to get this backlog of sponsored videos I've got to do. So does me a favor.
Does this count? If you just say all their names in this video, does it count as a sponsored video if we just talk about them for a minute?
Maybe, I don't know.
Oh, well, there you go. Next time we'll just talk about them for 1 minute.
Louise will just do this episode is sponsored by it's not Bugmans.
Mrs. Peach for being my social media.
She's
shout out. She's been great.
Yeah,
we need to buy her some Hedgehog Sylvanian.
Yeah, Hedgehog Sylvanian family. So
Definitely,
thank you for understanding how the
true.
internet works and commenting on videos.
How about you, Rob?
Shout out. Rebecca's been helping me load with events recently.
We love
Yes.
Rebecca.
Yeah, so she's been great.
She's just, you make a great team.
Yeah,
you and
she's
Rebecca.
been super helpful. So I just want to say thank you to her. She's been great. Loads of people have been great. Shout out to the Wicked Dicey crew as well. I doubt they watch this, but Wicked Dicey. Yeah, I'm in America at the beginning of October. They're flying me over, and they were really sweet because I've been swamped, obviously moving house, and then I was like, "Hey guys, like I know I'm coming over. What do you want me to do?" And they're like, "Look, what do you want to do?" And I was like,
We just like you. Let's
They're like, "Do you
chill
want me
out."
to stream?" And they're like, "I don't know, whatever you want." I'm like, That's nice, thanks. And I'm like, I am
almost
there to
gonna
work
be-
though. And they're like, well, whatever. Like, me do a
But
stream.
this one thing, you almost might have a nice time.
Oh, I'll have a nice time anyway. But
But
like,
I mean, like, you might actually get to hang out with people and have fun.
that's all I'm hoping to do. I'm
so
gonna
like
try.
AOS Worlds, I didn't even see you.
Yeah,
But
just
this time you might actually be able to hang out and have fun.
one day.
Maybe.
One day.
But
For now, thank you. And also, please, if you do pick up a Juggz mug, don't fall up the stairs and break them.
don't fall up the stairs with your Juggz
on
mug.
both sides.
There is Juggz on both sides.
Oh, I've
There's
got
two
two
There's
Juggz.
two Juggz. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.